Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're watching our coverage of the Week 2 ECAC Collegiate Valorant League. Boise State is looking to pick up their second win tonight against the undefeated Minnesota. My name is Colby D'Angelo Alloway, and joining me to call all of the action tonight is Brenner Bear Ladd. And so, going into the Week 2 of a Swiss League, how can teams like Minnesota and Boise State maintain their undefeated records?
It's definitely going to come down to how well they have scouted each other out, what kind of attack strats the other team might have, or cheeky defense strats that they might have, and how they can try to counteract each other. Because being that undefeated stasis is something you want to keep, especially when you're just starting off. You don't want to lose it really early on, but that could give you some leeway to fight some maybe lower ranked teams to build that back up. So when you get to the finals week, you have a bit more stronger standing, but everyone likes to stay undefeated, so it's definitely going to be a hard thing to do.
And in a Swiss League, especially in Week 2, there are lots of teams that are undefeated so far. So what do you do when sometimes like balance issues come into play with the sometimes deceptive records for both teams?
Yeah, it's definitely something you're going to have to acknowledge and play around. We know right now the new operator that just came out, her ultimate is very strong, seeing as it is just becoming a point-and-click adventure with all of that lightning. And same thing with the ops that are notoriously always going to be the one-shot kill, or everyone's going to play around those. So it's always going to come down to the econ and what your team composition is going to look like of all of those operators.
And what are some good team compositions that we may see tonight?
I definitely expect to see a Jade this time around with the healing, as well as most likely a Jet, because she's just so well utilizing having that high speed momentum. A lot of people like having those fragger operators to get around the map and have those damaging abilities, as well as a lot of smokes and trip mines. So it is definitely something that we can look forward to, of teams on the defensive side playing around those trip mines of, they're going to slow push right into their sight lines, because that's the negative side of the attackers. So I definitely hope to see a wide variety of this roster, but there's only so many you can choose.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and look at our event for tonight for the Boise State ECAC Collegiate Valorant League. It's a 5v5, best of 1. First to 13, and it swaps after the 12th round for ECAC Collegiate Valorant. It's best of 3, not a best of 1. Excuse me there, but it's still a 5v5, first to 13, and swaps after the 12th round.
Yeah, so they're going to have to get through those first 12 rounds, which is the typical Valorant that we see a lot of the time. It could even be pretty one-sided if they get, that clean 12-0 sweep, which is something we very rarely see, especially in Valorant, with having those first rounds being just the pistols only. And a couple of these teams might just have to, give up a round or two to save for that econ. So it's definitely something that is another huge mindset for these players.
And as we talk about the event, let's go ahead and look at the standings of all of these teams before we start going in. Like we were saying, both teams currently have an undefeated record, and that undefeated record right now is 1-0, with Boise State having their first dominating victory against Loyola last week in week 1. And today's lineups is brought to you by Count. As lineups you can see, we got Shells, we got Dreammaker, we got J-Bag, we got W Panda, and we've got Jabald. These are all players that we've seen a lot, and these are players that we know what to expect from due to scouting and that sort of thing. And Doc's keys to the lineups tonight are brought to you by Count. Count's Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experience for more than 9,000 leading brands. And some Doc's keys to the game that will help all of these Valorant players tonight. In Doc's keys to the game in Valorant, focus angles, and flank. You need to know your win condition, and you have to count cards / call abilities, and you need to click heads. Pretty standard for a first-person shooter. And Doc's keys to the game are brought to you by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes throughout free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up today at dropingaming.com. So what specific heroes are you looking to see tonight?
Yeah, as I previously mentioned, definitely the Sage, who's a more defensive support hero in this, with the res and the wall being utilized a ton of the times as on top of her slow. Possibly even a Breach with having that global capabilities, able to deny a lot of that hallway transportation and routes through it. So starting off here on Icebox, it is definitely a very well-known map. A lot of people favor that A site because it is indoors. It was everyone's go-to for such a long time. And so now with slowly more and more teams going over to the B, feeling more comfortable, feeling out the map with how long it has been out, we are hoping to see a lot more interesting gameplay rather than everyone constantly going A, going the same route, going the same tactics. So hopefully we see that a bit change up, and the new operator also adds a lot to that. So hopefully we can see that continue onwards, because we saw a lot of that in our first match where, as we mentioned, Boise State had a pretty dominating gameplay with a lot of big plays coming out from Jabald. So we hope to see a repeat of that this time around.
And what are some defensive strategies that you're expecting on this map?
I mean, if everyone's going A, I definitely expect some hard A's, but everyone's going to be rotating through B to get to the rear of it. So that's where a lot of those, key moments happen, where it's just going to come down to who has the better aim in that situation. This is one of the few games where clicking on heads does make the difference, because it can lead to those one-shot headshots with either, the op or the, I believe it's the sheriff's the Sheriff is the revolver, and then it's the marks. It's essentially the equivalent of the scout, which is how I'm going to relate to everything. So you see a lot of the secondary snipers not being able to one-shot, but if it gets the one-shot headshot, they can definitely swing it in your favor. But that's the thing with these games is you can also shoot through the walls, which can lead to a lot of variability in how these teams might approach them, because you'll see a lot of them just kind of pre-fire through the walls to try to check if someone is there, which is something that is very valuable to them, rather than possibly wasting, you know, a flashbang around the corner, which is the utility that you just need to keep on hand.
And if you're the attackers, how do you go against that defensive strategy? What are you looking to do? What opportunities are you trying to create?
Yeah, so a lot of teams, there's really two main ways of taking it. You can try to rush them down simply and take the fights before they're set up and ready for you to just push right into them. Or you can go for what a lot of teams try to do is the slow methodical, try to burn as much of their utility as they can, all of the flashbang, the smokes. But then you also run the risk of getting timed out, as well as you need to just commit to a bomb site. If you split like 3 and 2 and your 2 win and your 3 get taken down, then your 2 have to rotate all the way around, which is never great. But your whole team should have committed with the 3 if they had the spike in the first place.
And what are your bomb site options?
Yeah, so between B and A, we have the B outside and the A on the inside, as we can see right here through the fly-through, where a lot of teams like to go. It's going to be a lot of that high ground, which is where the snipers come in so well. But for this first round of that pistols, it's going to be all about the econ, trying to save and get a couple headshots, maybe just save and get your money, because if you die, you don't get as much money as you would if you survived. You also get to keep your gun. So if you do choose to buy a pistol first round, you want to try to save that. You don't want to end up dying. So that's the big risk of buying. As we look at a few of the replay highlights actually from the first match that we had against
This was Loyola. Boise State versus Loyola. It was a dominating Boise State victory, putting us 1-0 in this Swiss League bracket. The idea of the Swiss League is you play teams that have the same record as you, which is a great idea in theory, but sometimes can lead to a little bit of balance issues in the beginning of a couple weeks. But we have some amazing Boise State highlights here. And it looks like that was a nice kind of cheeky, sneaky hide play there as we're going around.
Yeah, you can see how much they utilize these smoke grenades, and on top of their, it's famous Call of Duty rule, it's faster going to your secondary than reloading, which is such a big thing. And we can see here Panda and Dreammaker being kind of the spearhead of a lot of the Boise State pushes, doing so well. Playing the new operator on top of Jet, who can really keep up with each other. Boise State definitely can play to their win condition and know their team, which is something that a lot of teams take time to just learn. And that's something Boise State has really focused on, and I think is why they have done as well as they have.
Smoke grenades are definitely one of the biggest, most important parts in Valorant, because if your team can't see you, or if the enemy team can't see you, they can't click your head, and if they can't click your head, you don't get eliminated, so you can stay in the fight for longer. And this looks like we're on point A. What is the strategy that Boise State's going for here in this highlight?
I mean, they're utilizing their operator. They had that smoke wall, even saw the last remaining enemy right at their feet, which is what gave them that advantage. It's all going to be about that verticality of you can't just check what's in front of you. You have to check what's above you and sometimes what's even below you, depending on where you are in the map. So that's definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye out as these teams get ready to kick things off with, I believe, Boise State actually on the attacking first. But as we also take a look at the roster, both sides have the Sage, both sides have the Jet, so they're going to stick to that core that they know and utilize very well. And it also have to keep an eye on who's going to be buying the pistols to try to win that early game and get that econ, rather than just save up to try to get that op right off the bat, or go straight into something like, if they want to meme on them, they'll get the Ares or the Odin, the full-on LMGs, and just try to hold an angle by spraying for all of the match. But it seems a lot of these operators are just going to stick with their Ghost, their classics, and one even has a Sheriff. So hopefully we kind of get some one dinks coming out here with that revolver.
What are we looking for as we set up in this buy phase here? What are the optimal strategies?
Suppressing.
Yeah, so we can see right off the bat, right down mid, he's going to try to suppress, whereas the whole side of Minnesota is going to go right for B, and it's actually Boise State on the defense first. That is my fault. But they're doing that 4-man front push, one person covering the back, but we're going to see that quick 7-5 Panda going to be quick engage, but no damage transitioning out. Dreammaker back on that new op trying to get as much value as they can, but will get taken down first.
A little bit of a cheeky peek there. Immediately was punished for that, and so the rest of the members of the team are playing corners a little bit better. As Minnesota's going to set up for a little bit of a group push here, and it looks like V Panda might be caught off guard here.
Yeah, they rotated back over to A once they knew they had the advantage on that side of the map. They eliminated the member in mid, but quickly even things out.
That was a nice little shot by W Panda. We were worried about them being caught off guard, but it looks like they were there the whole time, and the rest of BSU's coming in to go ahead and kind of clean up and defend this point.
Yeah, Panda went for the cheeky dash play right on top of the member with the Sheriff. Was not able to get the shot off first, but instead a ton of trades coming out here with J-Ball getting a double of their own. With that team wipe, 2 members even surviving. That's a really good econ for Boise State.
Especially since they managed to get the full team wipe on Minnesota over there. The defenders have taken this first point, and the spike has been defused a single time, and now we're kind of walk me through the setup here as we go through another phase.
Yeah, so after winning the pistol round and 2 members surviving, they have a lot of money to spare, which is why we can already see some SMGs on the members, as well as that scout on the side of Panda, so we could expect them to be holding long to try to get any snipes possible. And they knew Minnesota was pushing B hard at first, which is why when they rotated through mid, they lost a member and the whole Minnesota team swapped over to A. So Boise State now playing kind of that same strat of 1 mid and then 2 and 2. So it's all going to be about this Sage, of whether they can scout, and trading a little bit of damage between J-Bag as well.
And trading a little bit of damage in between fights is usually not what you want to do as we get set up and the teams stop trading damages as people get set up with that little smoke wall in the way there, kind of obscuring some vision. Boise State's hoping to disorient Minnesota here as we close in here. Multiple members on the flank trying to get a good off angle, while Minnesota, they're all relatively together.
Yeah, that's the perk of being the attackers, is you get to stick close together, and as we see as J-Bag turns the corner, he sees all 3 members, so immediately going to call that out, and everybody on the Boise State side is going to rotate over to B, but thankfully you can see they're down on number 4, is going to be rotating through the mid. Could have gone for that master flank, will not end up going for it. The spike is also planted by the Nova. Boise State's going to have to start getting aggressive. Jabald
is in a little bit of a tricky situation here as they face the members of Minnesota almost entirely by themselves. Their team is now here to help. Things are looking a little bit less tricky. W Panda is going to get the elimination, but also get eliminated themselves. Rad Chad is going to go down to BSU Jabald, and Boise State is up 1 currently against Minnesota. Still up 1 and now up 2 as the fight is over, and Minnesota has been wiped and defused yet again.
Yeah, cutting it close, but they should be able to get it just fine. Again, with Boise State keeping 2 members alive, this is really good for their econ, and Minnesota has to be hurting because they bought that round as well. They bought very little, but they did buy some. So now they have a little bit more saved up for those members who continue to just stick with, you know, the classics and the ghosts. So now they're going to have ARs online, whereas on the side of Boise State, they're going to have all the guns they're super comfortable with. You know, Panda had that Marshall and even got the elimination with it, but is now going to be back over to that Sheriff, as we can see through the little wall hacks that we have as an observer here. But it's going to be all across the board, those ARs that these teams have been so comfortable with. And once again, J-Bold trying to scout out the mid the best he can, but you can see nobody's going through because now Minnesota's going for that 3 and 2 split this time around, but pushing A first rather than B.
And it seems like after getting your bomb defused twice in the same place, it makes sense to be able to switch over there, and members of both sides are trading some shots here. Dreammaker is going to be the first one to go down on the side of Boise State, and that's definitely not looking good. Minnesota might actually be able to turn this econ around and win a fight here, especially with the extra elimination on the BSU shells there. Boise State is not looking good as they're down 2. Down 3 now.
Yeah, they had a solid push. You can definitely tell Boise State was not expecting, as they just got run down. Panda's at least able to trade. But once again, only having that Sheriff was not enough, as another great Vandal kill coming out from Wicked will take them the round. So that time they had 4 members live. That means a huge econ boost for Minnesota. And Boise State's going to be hurting after that because they spent a lot of money there to try to keep them at bay because they knew Minnesota was going to have a strong eco round. And they came out swinging.
Is it enough to win the single round in econ to turn the econ around in Minnesota's favor?
I mean, that definitely gets the ball rolling in Minnesota's favor. They're winning after they spend all their money, so now they get a lot of that back, especially with 4 members staying alive. You can see all the Vandals on their side, kind of the best AR right now. Oh, as well as the operator, I believe. We can even see Shells with his own Vandal. Did end up falling, but did have enough saved. Panda going in with their ult, no less, will pick up the first.
Dreammaker's going to go ahead and pick up the second onto Alpha T and then immediately get eliminated themselves by Abstract. And the teams are, Minnesota's currently down one. Boise State is in the position to turn this back around and take this next fight.
Yeah, they had the Jet ult, was only able to pick up one within. Dreammaker, we saw this in the first match, is either usually the first one eliminated on their team or gets the first elimination. This time they were first eliminated, but did get the trade, so that is value gained for Boise State. But Minnesota having to take their time because their spike carrier is at very low HP as well, trying to go for that A push once again. Poppy trying to pop their ult as well, seeing if they can find someone around the corner. But it seems all of the members of Boise State are actually rotating over to B, leaving the 2 members of Minnesota kind of push A for free.
And that's definitely not what you're looking for. Hopefully Boise State is going to circle back and defend that point that's being attacked right now. Minnesota is just kind of looking for the weakness in Boise State's defense here, and they will and BSU is going to instead find the weakness in their own defense, and Jabal is going to get that elimination. And now Boise State is up not 1, but 2. And with one of the members of Minnesota at such low HP, you might almost say it's 3, especially as W Panda is going to get that immediate elimination and then get eliminated themselves.
Yeah, trading is the best thing you can ask for in this sense, but instead Wicked's going to go on a tear, but with the second remaining.
Oh my gosh!
Was not able to get the spike down, but ended on a triple. Is able to pick up the spike and will go for the plan, but not in time.
Wicked carry, question mark? Boise State thought they had them cornered. They thought they smelled the blood in the water, and then Wicked comes around and gets a triple kill and shows that they're not going to be easy prey for Boise State here.
Yeah, Boise wanted to try to get that elimination to deny all of that econ as we see the beg for the op from Panda to Dreammaker, but it seems Dreammaker is going to keep on to it. Over on the side of A, they're definitely anticipating another solid A push, but we can see the Viper on both sides. On the side of Wicked, who got that triple, is very strong with her control of the map. So hopefully we'll see Panda with this operator able to pick one up.
Looking for some people to peek some corners. It would be a mistake to peek right into Panda's sights here, but they're going to go ahead and do it anyway. Teams are, and not get punished for it, which is great for them. Teams are just kind of looking around, firing a couple shots. Nobody has been eliminated just yet, but the true fight hasn't quite begun as Minnesota is rotating.
Yeah, they recognize that they had a strong defense on A, so now rotating over. Boise State recognizes that as well. Oh, but there's still one in the mid, which is why the Sage has to hold that angle. Hopefully you don't peek it because you are the defenders. And you know the attacker's not going to move because the Wicked getting that triple is going to try to stay alive as long as they can to maintain all of the money that they have.
Wicked is going to go ahead and get that first elimination, but also get eliminated themselves. That seems to be the trend. First elimination usually gets eliminated right after. And Boise State, the attackers seem to have won this first round. Defenders eliminated, and Minnesota has 3 members still remaining alive. So Econ is definitely in their favor here as we go to our next buy phase.
Yeah, Minnesota did exactly what they needed to. Is they recognized Boise State was all set up on A, made the quick rotation over to B, and just continued to push right into the Boise State defense as they were just trying to set up, and that did end up costing them because Minnesota just has outperformed with that rushing and took Boise State when they weren't prepared, holding those angles and pushing them as well. So good on Minnesota for that fantastic push, but now once again going all into B, whereas Boise State's still holding all A. It's going to have to actually push into their spawn and maybe get the flanking maneuver.
And in Boise State, looks like they're split pretty. Dreammaker's going to be the first one to go down to Poppy Mist over there. Poppy Mist is just on a tirade over here as they're also going to eliminate Jabal. And Boise State is in a tough position, down 2, before the fight has really begun. They're going to go ahead and try to even it up with the elimination on the Wicked, who seems to have been the carry. But then they're going to get another elimination, and Boise State is still down 2. Things are looking pretty rough right now.
Yeah, Boise seems a lot of members went for an econ save round, not buying any guns to try to save for next round, and it's definitely costing them, with Panda the only one to buy a Marshall, having yet to get hit this elimination. A lot of trades, but is going up against an operator. That op, the one-shot headshot. This is something that we're going to have to keep eyes on, but it's not enough.
Boise State's going to go ahead and lose that round. Tell me about the economy between these two teams right now.
Yeah, so Boise State played that to their best with only pistols. They went for the save so that they can match how far Minnesota has gone ahead of them. Because now we are 3-3. Boise State had a very strong start at that 2-0, but now bringing it back to 3-3. Minnesota bringing back very well. Keep eyes on J-Bag on this Viper. Viper has actually been one of the most well-performing agents so far. We have yet to see an ultimate outside of Jet so far, because we can tell these teams have both been prioritizing Jet picking up the ultimate orbs on the map. So we also see Minnesota going for the engage, but Panda actually gets first blood.
And then Dreammaker is going to be first blood on the side of Boise State. Panda's going to go ahead and pick up Rad Chad, and things are looking pretty even for both teams, both down a member. BSU Shells is going to go ahead and take Wicked Pro, who seems to be the Minnesota carry, down.
Yeah, both stages using their ultimates to bring members back. So we saw the double res coming back to back in between eliminations. So that's another ult out of the toolkit that both teams have, but utilized to hopefully even the tides as scouted out. Panda's on the track.
Panda's on a roll this round, and Boise State is now up 3 to Minnesota's 2 members. Things even out a little bit more with the death of Dreammaker there, but Panda's just continuing to lay waste to the Minnesota team here, and now Minnesota has one final member in the game, and the defenders are going to go ahead and win that round, and now we are 4-3.
Yeah, Panda with the Vandals just coming online right now. Oh, they've been the sniper of the group, but it seems that was definitely their time to shine. Dreammaker, even as we look at this replay, going right in as Panda gets a quad there. I believe it did actually end up rounding out to an ace, no less, but very solid play by Panda.
Definitely a lot closer than we might have wanted, it seems, that last round. But now Panda will be the hero, the agent to watch as we go into this next one with a minute 36, and nobody on really concerning amounts of HP just yet. And right as I say that, Abstract is going to go down to Panda, no less. And then Panda's going to get taken down, and things are looking even between the two teams now.
Yeah, Dreammaker able to trade at least through the wall, so it's still back down to a 3v3 situation, but Minnesota went for a very hard A push here. Might be able to even get the spike down unless Boise State can just run into them and actually win those engagements. But so that looks like Rad Chat's going to go for the plant.
Going to go for the plant. Boise State's kind of running around, seeing what angles they can get, seeing if they can catch anybody peeking a corner. And so far, no one has. Both teams waiting for somebody to make the first move, and the first move is made. An even trade. Both 2 even trades all around, and now it's a 1v1 between Boise State and Minnesota.
Yeah, Jet has the mobility, Viper has the utility here, but those shots holding it for a bit too long and needs a bit shorter burst to maintain that recoil control, so Jet takes it.
Definitely not what Boise State was looking for as things go back 4-4, and this next bye phase, what is the strategy Boise State should go for going into this?
It was a hard loss for them. They lost a lot of the Vandals that they have been heavily relying on. We can see already here Poppy, with how many eliminations they did get there, can buy guns for their teammates. So I expect that to happen on the side of Boise State as well for members who survived longer than others. But Panda's still got that Vandal on their side, so we can hopefully see another quad come out of them.
Survival is the name of the game in this tied-up matchup between Boise State and Minnesota as both teams kind of dance around each other, exchanging a few shots, but nothing too big yet as ultimates are now going to come out, and Boise State is going to start this immediately down 2 as Poppy and Rad Chat take 2 members down.
Yeah, Jabald able to at least pick up 1 more to try to even the odds as multiple utilities come out and 2 more members down. All eyes are on Shells as they are able to pick up 1.
And, you know, we've seen the 1v4 before and with 3 eliminations, so it's definitely possible as that next member goes down, and now it's only a 1v2. Unfortunate, but that's an ace for the side of what it looks like Minnesota there, which is very impressive.
Yeah, that's one of the crux of this map is the verticality. We saw Shells, the last one alive, pushing right underneath Wicked, and that's how Wicked got the kill. They were just standing right above him and didn't check it. They thought it was clear, but always got to check for your own eyes because no teammate ever made it up there alive. Shells was able to take down Abstract, but once again, you got to check above you sometimes. It's an issue that we come across in Siege as well with floors being destroyable. You sometimes have to look up and down to make sure no one has a cheeky sightline on you.
And cheeky sightlines are usually the best sightlines from the attacking perspective, but terrible from the defending perspective. Radchad is going to go ahead and pick up that first elimination onto Shells. Boise State starting this round down 1. Now even as Radchad will go down themselves.
Yeah, Dreammaker's got that speedy op, able to just quite literally run you down as they also take down Poppy.
And that's pretty big for the side of Boise State. Minnesota being down 1 as the engagement truly begins in earnest. Jabag is looking for the elimination. They will find it onto Wicked.
Yeah, it's definitely evening the odds, and now with the spike being planted, that puts the pressure onto Boise State to find it and defuse it against the defenders of Minnesota. But they are in a 4v2 situation. Make that 3v2 and make that 3v0.
Boise State's going to go ahead and clean that up. Dreammaker and J-Bag getting the eliminations, and they're going to go ahead and defuse that and tie this back up to 5-5. Boise State and Minnesota even yet again.
Yeah, this is where we see all the members of Boise State immediately start picking for the scraps of Minnesota, all of their guns. So Boise State and a lot of their playmakers on their team stayed alive for that. So that's a lot of operators that are going to be in this game now with those ops. But as we look at this replay, Dreammaker was on a 3-kill streak, no less. So definitely eyes on these high-speed agents that have just been able to dominate the game so far.
What's it going to take for Boise State to try to dominate this game to end the tie?
It's definitely going to have to know who to target, and taking down Wicked first is exactly what you want to see.
100%. Boise State's up 1, and it seems to be one of the Minnesota carries there in Wicked.
Yeah, the other person they're going to have to try to focus down is Abstract because they have been the spike carrier for Minnesota, the dedicated spike carrier no less. So they're definitely going to be trying to focus that, as well as the Sage in case she has the res back online. I assume not just based off the rounds since she last used it, but they want to try to deny that so they don't have to deal with Wicked a second time, because that Viper has so much utility, can cause such an issue for Boise State.
BSU Shells looking down sights there, looking for somebody to peek a corner. They will be unable to find anything. Jabald is on the flank. Dreammaker is going to go down with Shells as well. And now Boise State is in the position of being down 1. Kind of scratching their heads and wondering where things went wrong right here, as all members are playing scatters. And Alpha T is going to go ahead and get that res onto Wicked just as Panda gets eliminated. And now it's a full 5v2.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. They needed to take out Sage, but they dedicated 2 members to it, couldn't take them down, got the res out, and now it's a full 5v2 situation with Wicked able to kind of earn some of that econ back after dying. So going to want to stay away, as one remaining is able to trade out for Poppy. That's one less member saving the money.
Jabald is trying to do some tricky things here as the 1 versus 4. And honestly, with one of them on half HP, there's the potential to get at least 1 more elimination here. And there it is, 2 more. BSU Jabald, definitely a valiant effort was definitely made in those final moments as the 1v4.
Yeah, they got the triple, but time was not on their side, so they just had to go try to wipe out the enemy team. They didn't have enough time to defuse the spike, but if they could deny as much econ as they can for Minnesota, it was definitely their best strategy to go for. But as we take a look at the replay, we also saw Poppy get the elimination with the Ghost, which leads me to believe that they were saving. So hopefully this time around we will see a bit more money spent, but that Nova was also able to save their operator. So Minnesota is looking very well this round, having already an op-level sniper on their side for those one-shots. So Boise State's going to have to play very close here and not take those long sightlines because they don't have an operator of their own to match.
And it looks like Minnesota's playing relatively together, backed up in that corner there. There's a little bit of a split. Radchad's going to get first blood onto Dreammaker. Boise State starting this down 1. Not what you want to see if you're a Boise State fan, but if you're rooting for Minnesota, that's exactly what you're looking for, especially as they're up 6-5 in this current matchup.
Yeah, we can see Shells is 1 away from that res, so if they're able to pick up an orb on the map, that means they will be able to bring their teammate back. So hopefully we can see the return of Dreammaker as Minnesota did last time, but instead JBag's going to use their own and try to cut off the sightlines of the map, but big trades.
And now Boise State is 2 versus 5 against Minnesota, which is not what you're looking for. And they're looking to try to sneak around, get some cheeky flanks. But with everybody on, J-Bag's going to go down. And now it is a 1v5. So at this point, it's just how many people can you eliminate before you yourself get eliminated. And for BSU Shells, it's at least 1. And then they're going to go ahead and res that second member. And now it's a 2v4. So Boise State's looking like they're really trying to do this right now.
Yeah, they definitely have a chance. Spike was just planted, so they have plenty of time. It's just a 2v4 situation. Easy peasy, right? Hey, we know J-Ball can definitely pop off as they were player of the game last match. So they definitely have a chance in pushing right into the sidelines of Minnesota, trying to run and gun. They don't really make it.
They tried to run and gun, but they were less accurate than the side of Minnesota, and now they are down 2 as we go 7-5 for the side of Minnesota here.
Yeah, this will end up being the last round, I think, before the swap. So we will have to wait and see how these players decide to go along with their econ. Or I believe we actually did swap sides. So that was the last side swap, which is why they could run in, because they did not need to save econ that run because it was reset. So now, no, Boise State's still on the defense. I can't do math because apparently I can't do 7 + 5. It's fine. This is the final round before they swap, I think. Maybe.
And as Minnesota and Boise State are setting up for this next vice phase, it seems like Boise State, it would be in their best interest for them to go hard with this next round. Get the guns they need, get the equipment that they need to try to take Minnesota on here.
Yes, and they did swap. The name colors just threw me way off. But as this being the first pistol round, we did see, I believe, 2 members end up buying past the Classic and Ghost as just spray and pray through all of the smoke comes out here.
Didn't work out too well with them for any eliminations. Is not going to work out well for Wicked. Minnesota is now down 1 going up against Boise State here. Boise State's looking like they're in a pretty good position. If Dreammaker can win this, they can't. So now both teams are even, but they got Poppy Mist pretty weak. So this might be more in their favor than initially we thought.
Yeah, it kind of was that sacrifice play of I'll pretend like we're pushing A and instead the whole team goes B, gets the spike planted no less, but kind of backing off of it very quickly, trying to just go for those audio cues of when they start diffusing.
2 agents suppressed there by BSU Jabald. Radchad's going to go down, and so is Poppy Mist. Big Alpha T's going to follow them right into the grave there, and now it is a 1v4. And at this point, Minnesota's just trying to see how many members they can bleed out of Boise State before they themselves go down, and that number is 0 as Abstract is going to go down themselves. And now we are 6-7 with Minnesota still in the lead.
Yeah, pop off with the Sheriff, no less. We saw the double elimination, 1 even through the wall. So, Boise State definitely playing very well with the pistol round, but now going to round number 2 with Shells being the spike carrier. It seems that Boise State's going to continue to save. We did see Dreammaker pick up that Spectre, as well as, it's hard to read the name, Abstract, I believe? No, maybe? I can't read. It's fine.
This next bye phase, Boise State and Minnesota should be ideally gunning for each other, and it looks like first shots fired happen very quickly as the teams kind of rush in and see what they can do. But now that's fallen off a little bit. Minnesota seems to be backed into a group in the corner as Boise State tries to surround and see what damage they can get it.
And getting the first elimination on the side of Dreammaker, who, as I mentioned, they're either the first eliminated or first to get the elimination with that high-speed new face on the block.
Abstract is going to go down, and now Boise State is up 2, almost 3 with how weak some of the members Minnesota are looking. They're going to get the elimination on that They're going to get the elimination onto Alpha T, and it looks like it's 3 versus 2 versus 1 versus nothing. And Boise State's going to go ahead and get that team ace. Very, very clean, amazing job by Boise State. Now both teams have an ace up their sleeve, and this game is all tied back up, 7-7.
Yeah, we also saw on the side of Minnesota, they were saving that round as well, which is why they have all of the Vandals on their side, whereas Boise State kind of split it half and half. Some members had Spectres, others continued to save, holding on to their classics, Ghosts, Sheriffs, whatever they decided to hold on to. So now, with this being the third round of after swapping sides, it seems that they're all going for the Spectres and for the ARs. So hopefully we can see that continue, as we saw the orb capture and Dreammaker trying to take that space, but they're going to end up going back-to-back with the teammate, using the ability to try to run as fast as they can. This is why they always die or get the first elimination first. Such a speedy agent can lead to bad plays or amazing plays, as Panda gets the first elimination onto Rad Chad, and the spike goes down, so the pressure is on Minnesota, who only has the 4 remaining members. Boise State looking very good on this defense on B. This is what we talked about at the very start of the stream. You know, a lot of people playing Icebox prioritizing A, but as soon as they're learning to go for B and what the strategy is for it, they're able to pop off. The defuse goes down, isn't able to get halfway, very close though, as Abstract and Alpha are able to pick up 2, but Panda's able to get that, even make that a triple for Panda, as J-Bag and Dreammaker take the extra 2. A solid round for Boise State, as Panda just got in that backline with Jet. The speediness of the side of Boise State is what we want to look for with Jet and Dreammaker. That's why they pick those agents, so they can try to get the front and back. We take a look at that replay. They saw the defuse going down, so they just started praying to break that Sage wall. Was able to get it, lose 2 members, but Panda comes in the backline, taking down 2, forcing the remaining 2 members to push up, and J-Bag and Dreammaker close it out.
Toxins going up.
So now taking off this next round, Boise State sitting very pretty with their econ. We do see Poppy with a Marshall though, as Panda picks up first elimination against Alpha.
Alpha T and Boise State is now 8-7. Second elimination goes on to Poppy Mist by Dreammaker. That's not necessarily what we're looking for. Rad Chad is going to go down immediately also to Dreammaker, and they look like they're setting up to be the carry of this round as we go 5-2.
One enemy remaining.
Dreammaker definitely popping off alongside of Panda. Panda trying to re-secure their triple of last round, even though there's one final remaining member of, I believe, Wicked still on that Viper. Still can make the play. 1v5 is totally possible. It's just highly unlikely, especially with a Sheriff.
Dreammaker's going to go ahead and pick up that final kill, and now it is 5 versus nothing. Going to the side of Boise State, taking it up 9-7 here.
Yeah, a flawless round, no less, for Boise State. Dreammaker closing that out with a triple. So now it's the competition between him and Panda of whether or not who can get more triples this matchup, because both are just simply rushing in and running over Minnesota. Seeing a flawless round, no less, on, I believe, round 3 of their attack, now on to round 4 of their attack. Trying to get those early eliminations and scout out the best they can through the mid, but seems that they're going for another A push.
Both members are kind of circling each other here. Nothing's really happened yet. The W Panda looks like they might be in some danger as they set up for their ultimate.
Yeah, Panda trying to scout out the best, throw down as many smokes as they can so that they have solid coverage on the catwalk of A. Minnesota is able to pick up, or lose Rad Chad, sorry.
W Panda picks up Rad Chad. Boise State goes up 1. Some of their members looking pretty weak over here, going to get healed back up as we go 5-4. And now it's even as Abstract gets the elimination onto. Now we're down 1 as Abstract is going to get 2 eliminations, 1 onto Panda. Poppy Mist is going to go ahead and pick up one of their own onto J-Bag, and now we are 3 versus 1 against the side of Boise State. And Shells is going to go out with a bang there as they pick up Alpha T, but they're going to ultimately go down to Wicked.
Yeah, Boise State was able to get the spike down, but continued to just lose members as they rotated away from the spike, and the defenders that were remaining got taken down by Abstract, as we can see here with their double. And even Alpha T starting to defuse. Dreammaker having to dash right in, but will get taken down. But Boise State played that as well as they could, but Minnesota got right on top of the spike and with the Sage threw down the walls and had all the smokes with the help of Abstract, and Boise State was just having to play on their back foot as the attackers after securing the site.
Abstract definitely popped off that round. That's the best round we've seen from them so far, and it worked in Minnesota's favor as they get closer to evening it up, 8-9. The first couple eliminations are going to go to Poppy Mist, and then W Panda is going to go ahead and pick up Poppy Mist, but now Boise State is in a 3v1 scenario that does not favor them. Jabald has really got to find it within themselves, and it looks like they're unable to do so as Abstract is going to get that immediate elimination.
Yeah, I believe that was actually Abstract's ult as well from their agent, which is why I don't recognize that sniper at all, because it's not something you can buy. That's something he just has built into his kit. As we take a look at this replay, Poppy able to get into the back line, shooting 2 members in the back, but finally Panda's able to turn around and get that. So, Minnesota playing that very well, with Boise State getting a little over-aggressive.
Ultimately, it does look like Poppy's sacrifice was not in vain, as Boise State and Minnesota are now tied 9-9 going into this next bye phase.
Yeah, Minnesota has brought it back these last 2 rounds, so now Boise State's going to have to try to get a hold and not push nearly as fast as Wicked's going in with their multiple abilities, but will actually get stunned right on the other side of this wall from multiple members of Boise State.
And Boise State members are looking pretty weak here, but nobody's gone down just yet. It struck again. Dreammaker's going to go ahead and get eliminated by Wicked, and now we are. And W Panda is also going to get eliminated by Radchad, who's really been pulling it out these past couple rounds. And Boise State is in a 3v5 situation with several members of Minnesota looking weak. This could easily be tied up here, as Abstract is going to go down, Radchad's going to go down, and so is BSU Chow. Alpha T is going to go ahead and get the res onto Wicked, and it looks like things are 2v1 right now in Boise State's favor, with things tied up 9-9.
Yeah, they could hear him on the defuse for that split second. Will actually win that trade. So now all eyes are going to be on J-Bag, but it's just going to have to wait for the audio cue. But instead,
dang,
it's going to expire. Viper smoke only lasts so long, but a lot of ultimates were used that time. We saw the Jet ult, we saw Dreammaker use their ult. We saw multiple Viper ults with these giant smoke clouds consuming the area, fogging up vision. So that was a huge round for both teams with how much they committed.
Poppy definitely made a valiant effort here and almost won the 1v1 here against Boise State, but not quite. And so Boise State's going to go ahead and take that and take it 10-9 as we go up into this next phase and everybody's getting set up.
Yeah, so not a strong econ round for either team because there was only one single member, but it's Poppy popping off with that op.
Poppy Mist is going to go ahead and get the first couple eliminations, and Boise State is quickly put into a 4v5, 3v5 situation, and things are not looking very good.
Yeah, the res coming out from Shells onto J-Ball, who immediately got eliminated as soon as they were res.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
And immediately after that, the 3 remaining members of Boise State are going to get taken down in quick succession, leaving Minnesota with 4 members alive, which is great for them as we tie up 10-10. Boise State and Minnesota still even after 20 rounds.
Yeah, Minnesota having an amazing econ round there, keeping as many members as they could alive there. Didn't have the Sage ult to bring the last one back, but Boise State finally went for the A push and just got collapsed on, not able to even get the spike plant down this time around. Seems that they're going to just stick to their strategy that has been winning them rounds back over to B. But you got to remember, there's only so many rounds remaining. With this being such a tied game, losing the first one's not what you want to see.
Boise State now 4-3 against Minnesota here, so the advantage is in Boise State's favor as Dreammaker's going to go ahead and put those down.
Yeah, trying to get the advantage here, being up a whole member, but they only got a minute 15 to get that spike planted, and Minnesota knows they're on B, but Boise State having yet to get on the point to go for the spike plant. J-Ball does have the spike on hand. Will they be able to finally get it right at the corner? But Dreammaker loses instead.
Dreammaker's going to get eliminated, and Boise State members are looking pretty weak. They're going to get healed up just to about half, and this is a 3-on-3 with the advantage in Minnesota in terms of health bars to try to break this 10-10 tie. BSU J-Bag is going to get eliminated, but they're going to take Alpha T down for their trouble, and a 2v2 quickly turned into Minnesota winning, as both remaining members of Boise State are going to fall almost immediately after each other.
Yeah, Wicked really popping off there, I believe, with a double all by themselves with the help of that Nova, who actually had to go for the defuse, because the round doesn't end once you get the team wipe. You still got to go for the defuse, which a lot of people have notoriously actually forgotten about in the few rounds that I have seen played outside of the collegiate scene, as we take a look at this replay as well, with the trade first coming out for Alpha T, and then Wicked just getting a quick two-piece, Nova picking up one for themselves as well. It was a quick turnaround for Minnesota, as Boise State just happened to not win after even getting that first elimination. So now with Jet just going right down the middle and even opt out of the sky, Panda got shut down.
Fantastic shot on the side of Minnesota here. Now Boise State is down one, going into 4v5 as we approach this point here.
Yeah, we saw the scout come out from Boise State as well. But
now down two.
Yeah, Alpha T picking up one more onto J-Bald. Boise State trying to go for that B push, rotating out of A. Will get immediately taken down by Abstract. Dreammaker trying to just run around the map. Will get taken down, not even having the gun out. Quick trade in the mid, though, going into the favor of Boise State. Finally, they're able to take down at least one member of Minnesota.
And now we are 2v4, so Abstract might just end up being the price there, because things are not looking very good for Boise State right now.
Yeah, they got 45 seconds to get the spike planted and then defend against all four members. And it's a 2-2 split for Minnesota between A and B. But as soon as they find Alpha just getting a two-piece, all right.
We weren't ready for that. Both the remaining members of Boise State were phasing through each other, and they got immediately eliminated, and that puts Minnesota up to 10-12 as we go into our next round here.
Yeah, watching this replay of the two Boise State members stacked right on top of each other. Alpha T just getting an amazing spray. That's why you don't walk in a single file. That's why the Tuscan Raiders always got eliminated. But a huge win for Minnesota there. Now up 2 rounds. This could come to a close with unless Boise State can bring it back. This has been a tie game between these two teams for the longest time, and now that Minnesota finally has taken the lead, it's at the wrong time, because we're near the end of this best of 3 for this first map on Icebox, as once again Boise State looking to go for that B push, but is going to be pushing into Abstract.
And Dreammaker and BSU Shells are going to get eliminated quickly. Abstract will as well, tying this up to a 2v4 situation in Minnesota's favor. 1v4 situation, and we've seen a couple of eliminations, but we haven't seen anybody win the 1v4. But Poppy Mist is going to go ahead and fall to Panda, and we'll see what else Panda can do in the 1v3 situation.
Yep.
Which ends up being just a single kill.
They rotated right into the sidelines, and that will be the first map.
And BSU Esports is always looking for talented players, production, and broadcasters. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. That was a fantastic, really close matchup between both of the two teams. Minnesota and Boise State were very, very close throughout the entire time, and Minnesota ended up just barely edging them out there at the end.
Yeah, Boise State really performed very well in those early rounds with the pistols. They were winning those engagements and taking the fights where they were constantly winning. Whereas once it got towards the later game, there was more money in the pool, and they could buy more operators, more phantoms, more vandals, where they were comfortable with those guns. We saw Minnesota really take it away, whereas Boise State didn't use nearly as many of their utilities and ultimates to win those engagements. We saw Dreammaker constantly running right into them, and sometimes it paid off, but a lot of the times it didn't. And when they were in, say, a 3v4 situation, Dreammaker would go off by themselves and get taken down. Whereas we saw Boise State trying to go for the 2-member single file line, got taken down as well. So Boise State, he has strong early game, but weak late game. So Minnesota is definitely capitalizing on that. So going into this next round, Boise State He needs to keep that aggression from those early rounds rolling into those later rounds and play a bit safer.
And that makes a lot of sense. And we'll see if Boise State is able to capitalize on that right after a break.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're watching our coverage of the Week 2 ECAC Collegiate Valorant. We just saw Minnesota pick up their first map win against Boise State, and they're looking to stay undefeated in this matchup. But this matchup might be a little bit harder than they initially thought, because Bind is the next map, and that is one of Boise State's most played maps. And so we'll get to see here in a little bit if Boise State will be able to even this out with Minnesota after this first match.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to wait and see how well Boise State can capitalize on Bind being their favorite kind of home turf map, on top of with how well Minnesota performed on Icebox. They know who they're going to have to watch out for with Abstract constantly on the chamber and being the spike carrier. They know they have to target them if they turn out on the defense first, as well as Abstract or Alpha T, sorry, on the Sage, who popped off multiple times doing very well, kind of pushing the angles that they need to at the right time. So Boise State might have to play a little bit more split apart, but pushing the same site together so they don't have that single file incident once again.
And we established that Boise State was more of an early game team, as they tended to get their wins there. How do you transition an early game team into a more mid to late game team?
It's definitely going to come down to the gunplay of what gun are you better with and where can you capitalize on it, because a lot of people say they're best with the operator, the op of the game, but that is the definition of a late game gun, and to get there you have to get the kills and the eliminations and the econ to be able to afford it and to get it, because you can't always rely on your teammates to buy you the op, because that's a very pricey gun. It's the most expensive one for a reason. It's the one-shot kill. So it's going to come down to the individual skill on top of the team play, which is something we talk about in Overwatch all the time, is the individual versus the team play, whereas in Valorant, it's kind of one and the same because the individual play allows you to get the econs so you can help your team more, so you can buy your abilities more, you can get your ultimate quicker. It's going to really come down to how they can utilize both things like the Spectre for the mid rounds or a Phantom or a Vandal with those ARs of trying to take the fights they know they can win or feel more safe in, or at least have the backup with you so if you fall, the person behind you can get that refrag.
And as we go forward, let's take another look at the event before we go into our next matchup. It's a best of 3. The home team picks the first map, the away team picks the side, and the losing team picks the next map. And so Boise State coming up went ahead, picked Bind. Like we said, it was their most played map. We expect them to be able to perform very, very well on this map, which could be the difference here because the previous map was a very close one between both Boise State and Minnesota.
Yeah, so heading over into Bind for Boise State, and that being their most played map, we hope to see them excel here, but with the side of Minnesota getting to pick which side they are on first, I expect to see them actually defend first because that's where they were able to excel the most. On top of, we just saw it on Icebox where they were defending first and they were able to capitalize and win through there.
And we see our lineups here at the bottom of the screen. We have Shells, Dreammaker, J-Bag, and W Panda, and Jabald, all great players that we saw a lot from. We saw Dreammaker making a lot of plays, but sometimes getting caught out on those plays. Hopefully, with the home turf map advantage, they will be able to be more consistent in taking advantage of those sick flanks that they all do. And today's lineups are brought to you by Count. Count's Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. And as we go into this next matchup, what we're looking for is more flanking consistency, but what else?
Definitely utilization of the early econ that we saw in the first map, which is what led Boise State to getting a lot of those eliminations. We saw Panda constantly buying that Sheriff and actually winning those engagements against multiple members of Minnesota. But also when it gets into kind of the mid/later game, we want to see kind of more using of their ults kind of, I wouldn't say vicariously, but just making sure you're holding on to them for multiple rounds. We see Jets always using their ults right off the bat because they get a lot of those eliminations because they are the speedier of the operators. Same with Dreammaker with their ultimate, but things like the Sage is such a game changer, bringing a teammate back. They don't have any guns other than their pistol, which is why we see them immediately run away and try to go find a dead body to pick up the main primary of that body. So I would hope to see in this next round kind of scattered team pushing, if that makes sense. So we don't want to see the single file line of Boise State and how scattered Minnesota was constantly taking 1v1s. You want to have kind of a staggered push of duos pushing because that's how we see a lot of the trades and refrags coming out from both these teams.
And we'll see if Boise State or Minnesota is able to do these better as we check out the Bind map here. What are the attacking and defending strategies for this map?
It's going to be a lot of the same as Icebox, where the few windows and difference is of the high ground are. That's where we're going to see a lot of those plays be made. So things like, you know, Fountain is where a lot of people rotate through, but never... They pass it but never go through it, and we're going to see a lot of, you know, we saw on that site, a lot of the boxes, people are going to be jumping on top of theirs with the help of that Sage wall to try to cut off those sight lines. We saw this map in our first round matchup with Boise State taking the victory on it because it is their most played. And with them being on the defense first as well, now Panda taking over the chamber, trying to show Abstract what's up, but they're still sticking with the Sage on both sides, but only a Jet on the side of the attackers for Poppy. So you can definitely tell who these players prefer. Same with Wicked on the Viper, but we're going to see some new faces on the side of the defenders. So hopefully that might lead to a Boise State victory, because if this is their most played map, they're going to have some home-baked strategies that might throw the side of Minnesota off their trail.
And that's certainly what we're hoping for the side of Boise State. And now as we look, both sides have a Sage. What are some weaknesses that either team might be able to exploit?
I mean, we've seen a lot of the times for these teams of the Sage just burning down their walls with gunfire if they're trying to use it as cover. So that's the perk of rotating around together, is if a Sage walls you off, it's going to take you longer to shoot through it unless you have a teammate to kind of double that fire. And you can see how they're splitting up. They're going 3A to B. It seems that Minnesota is also just going to kind of mirror that ever so slightly with Wicked on the Viper all by themselves, who's number 6 on the minimap, and the rest of their team kind of four-manning in the middle so they can just go back and forth between the 2 points, whichever they decide is easier to push, which should be B, as number 4 on the Boise State team is actually all by them lonesome, but instead Chamber's going to go for the teleport, and Dream gets first.
Radchad and Alpha T are both going to be eliminated very quickly, putting Boise State up in a 5v3 situation, and we are definitely seeing why Boise State picked this map as we go in. BSU Shells is going to be the price, but they get the elimination onto Abstract just after Abstract pulls the eliminations, and we are now 4-2, 4-1 as Poppy Mist is going to go down, and we'll see what Wicked can do, which was not much, and Boise State's going to come out and win this first round with 4 members still alive at the end of it, which is great economy for them as we go up 1-0.
Yeah, Dreammaker was on a triple kill there with their Ghost. So Abstract was able to at least take down Shells, but this is what we talked about right before this round kicked off. Boise State knows how to play the early game with the pistols so well. They just ran into Minnesota and was able to win those engagements. And even when they didn't, they had a member right behind them to get the refrag. So now going into round 2, we can already see Panda, I believe that was, with the Marshall back again. Same with Jabald with the Spectre. We see them bringing it out multiple times to try to win against, I would assume Minnesota stuck with their pistols to try to save since they did lose that round, especially with Boise State keeping 4 members alive, but Wicked not able to make the door in time.
Things not looking good for things looking pretty even as both sides as we go up here 4-4. However, some members on Minnesota are very, very weak, trying to get healed up here. Will in fact be healed up as both teams just kind of take shots at each other. Poppy Mist is going to be the next one to go down, putting Boise State up 4-3, and 1 weak member on the side of Minnesota, and things are back even with Dreammaker getting eliminated by Radchad 3-3. Advantage would still be go to Boise State, especially now as we get that elimination onto Radchad, courtesy of Jabald.
Yeah, they got that 3v2 situation and even picking up the orb, but now with the Sage having the spike, it's going to be a hard push onto A, no less, especially with so many members of Boise State knowing exactly where they're coming from. With Dreammaker scouting the last 3 remaining members, J-Bag picks up the second.
Abstract is going to be eliminated, and at this point, Minnesota has the single member against 3. Alpha T will be unable to do anything against Boise State, and Boise State has lived the past 2 rounds with 4 and 3, putting them up 2-0 against Minnesota, showing that they really are an early game team.
Yeah, we saw as much scouting as Alpha T could do, but sadly they were not able to get onto point as J-Bag was there with the Spectre to take down Abstract, quickly followed by Shells taking down Abstract. So Boise State playing essentially to their win condition right now. They know they can win the early game, so they're going to take that advantage and try to make as big as an econ gap as they can, not even trying to go for the timeout with the spike, just going for the eliminations to deny the economy from Minnesota. But since they saved up for those past 2 rounds, they have a little bit more built up, as Jabald's still sticking with the Spectre. You know he's going to have good econ next round, but the Sheriff here on Panda trying to go for those 1 dinks, as Minnesota's still going for a split push, but much slower.
And it looks like neither team has really found each other out as we're camping doorways and looking around. The engagement is inevitable, however, and things are kind of looking that way as both teams kind of start to almost quite find each other, as Shells, I'm sure, is aware that the member of Minnesota is just right there, and they're looking for the opportunity to get the snipe in. But BSU Shells is going to be the first one to go down to Radchad, so maybe they weren't aware, putting Boise State at 4-5. Now 3-5 as J-Bag is going to go down immediately after that. And Jabald is just seeing what they can do and going to get immediately picked off by Wicked Pro. And this might be the round that Minnesota wins, as they are 5 versus 2.
Yeah, as soon as Minnesota got their hands on some good weaponry, they're just able to take down Boise State. They did get the single one dink out of Panda onto Radchad, but that was not enough because the spike was planted and the pressure was off.
So far, the past 3 rounds that have been won, 2 to Boise State and now 1 to Minnesota, have lived with 4-3 and 4 people. These are not very high elimination rounds on the winning side. Most of their members seem to make it through if they win.
Yeah, and it's definitely been how the team's been playing a bit more conservatively, trying to also spread the kills among multiple team members so they can just get that extra little money for the next round to buy those weapons and armor. But Jabal actually with a very well-placed ball saving their own skin, but now forcing Minnesota to go up and over the boxes, but it's going to try to go for the push as well through A side as well. But Minnesota kind of has a straight shot right into A, but Boise State's going to have to watch their back as now they're kind of stuck in the hallway. They don't know who's on what side, so now all the smokes and the walls are going to come out. So we see the Astra trying to use as much of utility as possible, but that's why we see so many people play the Viper with her walls, able to just deny those sightlines. And now the spike being planted, Dreammaker gets first blood.
First blood on the Wicked, the Viper that we were just complimenting, but quickly J-Bag, Shells, and Jabald are all going to go down, and then Radchat and Alpha T quickly follow, and that's most members of both teams eliminated in a couple second span, and we now are in 2v2 territory, 1v2 territory now, and we'll see what the final member of Minnesota can do against Boise State here.
Yeah, Raz with also a great rocket jump up elimination as Abstract even takes on Dreammaker as they went for the defuse. And now Panda's going to have to go and gets it. But do they have enough time? I would think they do. And it's, ooh, it's going to be real close, but they're going to get it.
It looks like there it is, just barely on the side of Boise State with that final diffusing member. Incredibly weak. Amazing job by W Panda there. That was the closest round we've seen so far, putting Boise State up 3-1 against Minnesota.
Yeah, I believe it was within like 20 seconds. It went from a 5v5 to a 2v1 situation. And also the play make from Dreammaker right here on this raise is just so well done. The rocket jump into the kill with after Alpha getting a 2-piece, it was just bada bing, bada boom, back to back.
Both teams are setting up. Nobody's been eliminated just yet. Looking down their sightlines, W Panda, the carry of the last match, and the sole survivor from both of the teams, looking to find somebody that peeks the corner when they're not supposed to. Might find it here in a second. Gets the elimination on the Poppy Mist.
Yeah, very clean shot there coming out from Panda on this chamber, but Alpha's there to res it.
BSU J-Bag and Jabald going down, and now we are in a 3v5 situation. Even though Boise State got first blood, things are not looking so well, especially after that res on the side of Minnesota. But then they're going to come over and just immediately eliminated Wicked, just like that. And now it's a 3v4, which is much more manageable. Now 3v3.
Chamber coming in clutch here. Panda with on a triple right now. Closing it out. The 3v3 has both eliminations right now and utilizing their sniper the best they can. It's the perk of having a Sage. Also being able to just wall them off, having to commit so much to just break it down as Radchad takes on Dreaming.
Radchad is also going to take down W Panda, and now it's just, that was 3v3, and Boise State was too aggro and didn't get the eliminations that they needed on that approach, and so Minnesota's going to go ahead and take that round, taking us to 3 versus 2, still in the favor of Boise State for now.
Yeah, definitely for now, as we're taking a look at the replay of Panda with that. An amazing one thing on to Wicked as he continues with his sniper to take down Poppy. It was a very well-played shot. He's been doing very well with Chamber, showing Abstract how it's done after the showing on Icebox, but he has a lot to prove because they did end up losing that map. So now with the side of Minnesota playing a very good attack, Boise State now playing their best defense on the map that they have the most playtime on as well. Minnesota is giving them a run for their money.
Both teams are setting up here, haven't really found each other. Jabald is going to go down first to Wicked. Usually Wicked is the one that goes down first, so it's nice to see them getting an elimination there. And Boise State is 4 versus 5, almost 3. Alpha T is going to go ahead and get that elimination on J-Bag, who was weak, and now it's 3v4 as Poppy Mist and Wicked are going to go down.
He's good at the one dings, but was not able to get to Alpha in time, having the height advantage. Tries to go for the fan and the hammer, but will not be enough, so now Dreammaker's just going to have to try to run away. No longer on that Neon, doesn't have the sprint button. So it's a 2v3. It is possible, but health bar is not looking too good.
Health bars are also not looking too good for the side of Minnesota, however, so this is still a relatively even matchup, about as even as it's going to get, with Boise State being down to members still. And now things are looking really unfortunate for Dreammaker here, as BSU Shells is going to get eliminated. They need to win the 1v3 if they want to win the round, which is very unlikely.
Yeah, just a casual 1v3, it's fine. They have the advantage, they just missed the one ding headshot. So Radchad will take that advantage. He had the Vandal going into a Sheriff. That's an easy win for Minnesota. They're definitely in the money right now, going up against Boise State, who's just constantly gotten wiped, even after Minnesota has gotten the spike down. Panda was able to get a very nice dink here as we're taking a look back on it. Shell's even able to pick up one on Wicked, but a very clean shot onto Poppy.
And as we see here, both teams are tied up 3-3 with only 5 seconds left in this bye phase before the two teams are going to try to scout each other, rush each other, and see what they can do to win this next round and break the tie.
Yeah, even saw the member trying to get the shots through the walls, but Poppy with the op is going to be able to pick up one as Dream even goes for the ult orb. Is able to get it surprisingly without taking too much damage. Did lose all their armor.
Now we are 3v5 here as Jabald is going to go down on the side of Boise State as well. Minnesota's looking pretty good. Their health bars are all great, and they're up 2 members.
Yeah, up 2 members, and they have 3 ults on their side with Sage having the spike, and they have pretty much full control of B minus the last member of Boise State on that side of the map. So they'll have to just wait for the push. They do have the advantage, especially with the Vandal, and able to take down one. Has to teleport away, make that 2.
Now things are looking much more even for the side of Boise State here, with some of their members looking... Wicked Pro's going to get that elimination onto Dreammaker, make that a 2v3, which is more doable than the 5v3 they were doing before. W Panda's going to get eliminated, and that's going to be the end of that, as BSU J-Bag's going to go down as well, with only 2 members of Minnesota surviving, which is a lot better than what they initially had going into that. But Minnesota's going to break the tie 4-3 in the favor of Minnesota.
Yeah, there is also 3 ults on both teams, so well, that could definitely be the game changer, and at least Boise State has the res in case they once again just get a bit too aggro, with Minnesota taking a lot of these gunfights in their favor, surprisingly. Boise State toting how this is their most played map, yet they're just now losing the lead to Minnesota as soon as the economy goes in their favor.
Wicked is going to get the first elimination onto Dreammaker. Usually it's one of those two that gets eliminated first because they're most often the flankers.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, both members of Boise State going with the Marshall, trying to just spray and pray through the smoke. We'll just end up running into one with the Sheriff, able to get it, but we'll get traded out for Jabald.
And now we are in a 2v4 situation, 1v4, nothing v4. Minnesota's just going to go ahead and take that round, putting them up to 5 versus 3 in the favor of Minnesota against Boise State here. And I just got to say that the flanks are not working out for Boise State.
Yeah, it has been costing them very dearly, and still holding on to now 4 ultimates on their side. Minnesota did end up committing the one, and so they only have the Sova and the Astra ults remaining. Definitely still possible to be those game-changing ults that will continue their lead right now in this 5v3, but Boise State's going to need to start pressing as much X as they can to get those ultimates. It's not the Qs like Overwatch, but pressing X is fine. But at least Boise State is finally getting the guns back in their hands, as well as Dreammaker not running straight ahead on their own. Jabald with a very risky play, putting up that wall in the sight lane of the member of Minnesota.
Alpha T and Bag are going to trade with each other here and putting Boise State in a 4v4 situation. 2 ultimates online for both teams. Things are still looking pretty even.
Yeah, hopefully they will continue going to the side of Boise State, as some ultimates have been used. We did see Shells pop theirs, but no member of the side of Minnesota has used theirs yet. Boise State still has the same ult. They can bring a member back, but after losing Panda, we're going to see the Rays pop out their rocket. Full fire at once, not land onto anybody, get a little bit of an explosion damage, but still full enough health bars and being up a member. 30 seconds remaining. Boise State's going to have to go for the full rotate over to B to anticipate the Minnesota spike plan if they're going to get it in the container. Oh.
And 3v4 is definitely winnable, but definitely not as winnable if they lose the second member here, as Dreammaker's going to go down, putting this into a 1v3 situation, as Wicked Pro and VSU Shells are also going to go down in quick succession. And at that point, it's just kind of seeing what Jabal can do to stop them from getting such an economy bonus the next fight, as the final count is 3-0.
Yeah, Boise committed 2 ultimates to that round and was not able to come out of it with a win. Yes, they were able to take out at least one more member, but with it being a 1v3 situation, not even able to take out one of the 2 targets in your silence, kind of just splitting the goalpost there, shooting between the 2 teammates of Minnesota, which is kind of impressive. But in a 6v3 situation, things are not looking good for Boise State, especially with so many members of Minnesota having those operators.
And with this being the second map that they're playing, the first map being a loss, Boise State is definitely at a huge disadvantage here.
Able to get a little bit of poke damage onto Poppy from Jabal as he saw them meleeing the Sage wall that they threw down. So close to the headshot, but Poppy even won the engagement.
Second elimination going to go on to Jabal by Poppy, putting Boise State with 4 members and Minnesota with 4 members. Both teams are looking pretty even together as we go into this next engage, and members are looking for each other.
Yeah, thankfully the 2 other remaining members of Boise State rotating over to A from B, which is going to lead Minnesota a possible backline, but instead we're going to see the Rays rotate over to make sure to cover that sightline as Alpha even gets the res. So it's a 4v5 once again, and Boise State lost their Sage, so they don't got that res.
They don't have the option of a res because the res was the person eliminated. And as Rad Chad's going to get eliminated, they don't have a second res online, so things are going to, with that next elimination onto Shells, put things in a 3v4 at the advantage of Minnesota, who's already up 3 rounds.
Yeah, J-Bag had a good angle, but was not able to capitalize as both members of Poppy and Panda are on a triple right now.
2v2 going in. Things are looking pretty even. Now they're less even, and as W Panda goes down, and now at this point, Dreammaker just has to see what they can do by themselves against 2 members of Minnesota, and the time ticking down.
Poppy getting the solo ace. All 5 getting taken down. Did end up losing the same team member twice of that Sova, but very well played by Poppy. Once you got that operator on the Jet, they were able to just capitalize so well. You can see the difference in the econ right now. Only a single Vandal is on the side of Boise State, whereas every single member of Minnesota has one of those top-tier weapons. We see the operator, 2 Vandals, and 2 Phantoms, whereas all members of Boise State just have Sheriffs. They'll be fine. Just nothing but Sheriffs.
And with Boise State being down 4, with Minnesota at 7 and Boise State at 3, the economy not being their favor is definitely not what you're looking for. And you're also not looking for first blood to go on to W Panda and put your team against a 4v5. Now 4v4 as Alpha Team's going to go down. Dreammaker is also going down, putting this at a 3v4. And then Jabal and Jabang are going to go down immediately after, putting this at a 1v4 in very quick succession.
Spike planted.
Yeah, Poppy even popping the ult to get that 1 extra elimination, trying to at least pick off 1 more, but he's going to go for the melee rush. This could end very poorly for Wicked on this Viper, but she's committed to it because it's full on memes at this point, but at least Shell's got the reload off in time.
At least Shells managed to eliminate the super aggro melee. We'll see what else they can do against here. It doesn't look like they're going to win, but definitely getting that elimination onto Abstract helps, and now it's a 2v1 with Shells incredibly weak.
Yeah, we see backline able to get a little bit of shots, but had some
oh my God!
triple
Shells,
no less.
pop off, get him! Rad Chat is going to be the next one to fall to Shells murder massacre, and it looks like the attackers are going to win just because the spike detonated, not because they managed managed to kill
Last round
Shells.
before the switch.
Yeah, they were able to at least pick up that Vandal, so possibly transfer it over to a teammate with better aim, or just keep on it because, I mean, they were popping off. Obviously, Minnesota got way too aggressive there. They're just saying like, oh, it's one final teammate. What can they possibly do? You know, clean up with a triple. It's fine. So, able win. It was a what, 4v1? Then it was just a 1v1.
It was a 4v1 and a single member was alive to detonate the spike. And if that doesn't speak to Shell's ability, I don't know what does.
Shells is going to be able to trade out, but Wicked just getting two more.
Oh my gosh.
Boise State stacking all up on that rotation will cost them dearly. So now all eyes are on J-Bag.
J-Bag is going to be able to clean up Poppy Mist. It looks like Minnesota has a bit of an issue with being too aggro against the singular player on the side of Boise State. But considering their 5-round lead with 8-3, they have a little bit of room to be a little cocky.
Yeah, and they definitely have been. Viper still has her ultimate as well. Will not commit it because it's only one final remaining member. What can one person do, right? Or just look at previous round to answer that question. So, J-Bag able to get close to the site. Will pull curse of any FPS. As soon as you look away from the angle, they're gonna push it. That's exactly what happened to J-Bag.
Minnesota now 9-3 as we go into this next bye phase, and the sides have swapped, and it looks like Boise State is now setting up to play much more spread overall than Minnesota is currently setting up.
Yeah, so now Boise once again going for that B push that has been working for Minnesota very well. Maybe changing their minds as we see the chamber rotating over to the A side of the map. Maybe just trying to converge on the mid to at least get control and cover their flank. But Wicked also bringing out their own Sheriff. So we're going to possibly see some one-dings coming out here, as not very many other Sheriffs are seen across the silhouettes. A lot of Ghosts and Classics, though, with that right-click 3-round burst being very well utilized by Boise State, because this is where they excel, as the early rounds.
And both teams are just kind of trying to get eyes on each other as the first couple of shots are expended and a wall goes up. Alpha T is going to be the first one to go down, which is big for Boise State, but then J-Bag and Rat Chat are and W Panda are all going to follow them in quick succession, leaving us with a 3v3 after that initial bloodbath. And Jabal trying to win the 1v1, which they do end up doing against Abstract, putting us at a 3v2.
Yeah, even getting the spike planted, which now means Minnesota's going to have to attack their own defensive point. They do have the high ground advantage, but every single member of Boise State knows where they are. And now the Sage Wall even going to go up to deny them the sight lines. It's exactly what Boise State needs. This
setting
is how they
up
win
for the
these early
cheeky
rounds.
flank. Jabal is setting up for that cheeky flank, waiting for them to drop through that door, and is going to get eliminated for their troubles here by Poppy Mist, putting us into a 2v2 situation. It's quite even. Dreammaker and Wicked Pro are going to go down, putting us into the 1v1. Honestly, we've seen Shells do more with less.
Poppy possibly even going in for the melee at that point, but Shells popping off once again. Shells, this has definitely been Shells' map here. We saw the first map going over to the side of Panda and Dreammaker, or even though they did ultimately end up losing it, they were making the most plays for Boise State. But now Shells is in the spotlight here, absolutely doing so well as we take a look at this replay of the final last little bit for Boise State, trading out with Wicked for Shells. This Poppy just goes in for the rush. I'm so curious if it was a melee intended rush, or they were just trying to get high ground advantage.
Well, they didn't get to do either of those things because Shells, the executioner over here, works best under pressure when they are the last member alive. That's when they tend to pull it out here, as Boise State is 4-2, Minnesota's 9. Wicked Impro and Poppy Mist are going to go down immediately, putting us in a 5v3 situation in favor of Boise State. A couple of their members are looking a little weak, though, so this might be a little deceptive.
Yeah, they got the spike down early as well, and they're up all 5 members right now as they're just going on a tear. Pandy taking down one, Dreammaker, J-Bag, and it's a clean, flawless round for Boise State.
Which is exactly what they were looking for after being down 4. Trying to even that up a little bit, as we are now at 5-9, still in Minnesota's advantage as we go into this next bye phase. Boise State is finally getting some of the weapons that they're looking for here.
Yeah, they have a lot of Spectres on their side, but if you look on the side of Minnesota, they all have Vandals and Phantoms, so they got the ARs into Boise State's mostly SMGs. They have maybe one or two that I saw of, I believe it was a Vandal and a Phantom, just one of each. But they're going to be relying on that close-range combat with those Spectres. So we expect to see Boise State kind of going for that rush once again to utilize their gunplay right into Minnesota. So Minnesota's going to have to play further back.
Both members still 5v5. No eliminations have happened just yet, as they're going to go ahead and lob that over the wall there on the side of Dreammaker. Neither team can really see each other right now either.
Yeah, we can see through the wall. It's like, if you just sprayed, you would have gotten him, but now instead Dream gets first blood.
Abstract, Jabald, and Alpha T are going to go down in quick succession, putting this into 3v3 situation, 3v2. And now there's only one player left, and it's not Shells, so we got to assume that this isn't going to work out very well for them at the 1v2. Still doable, definitely possible.
I mean, Wicked, we've definitely seen him have it be done before, but with
Wicked
3
wants
HP,
him to come in the room.
Player standing.
yeah, with 3 HP, it wasn't going to last long. So now it is Poppy v. the Chamber. Hopefully, the remaining member of Boise State can pull it out. They should be able to. They can even get the spike planted down for Panda, but Poppy has been notoriously very well, and I would assume they have a Marshal as well, because they definitely did not have enough for an operator. Even running straight into their sidelines, not able to get the shot. I'm so curious what happened with Poppy there. They had clear sightlines. Panda not even having a gun out, missed the shot and still loses that gunfight.
Poppy missed more shots than Panda, I think, is what that face-off came down to. Poppy missed their best chance when Boise State was putting down the spike, and then didn't hit the shots there. We see they were shooting. They're definitely trying, but they weren't able to hit W pamming. W Panda 80 crouch spamming OP.
Yeah, I guess the spray and pray didn't work for that time, so maybe next time, but Poppy definitely needs to go back to the sniper that they have been able to pop off with many times, as Panda exchanges some early damage. Will not be life-ending, though, thankfully, as once again, Boise State loves pushing this B site.
6-9 in favor of Minnesota, and it looks like W Panda is going to regroup with their team here. Dreammaker's first blood. W Panda is going to follow immediately after that, leaving us in a 3v3 situation as Abstract and Brad Chad and Alpha T go down immediately one after the other, leaving us with 3v2 in the favor of Boise State. And they definitely need this round because they are down 3, 6-9. And Wicked is going to get the elimination on the Shells and get eliminated themselves, putting Boise State at a 2v1 against Minnesota. And we'll see what Minnesota is able to do with their single member against both members of Boise State.
Yeah, the remaining member of Minnesota was behind that safe wall, and they're even going to go for the res here to have that just extra member against poor old Poppy on this Jet, who doesn't even have their ult or anything. Will it get flashed for that split second, make that a second time? So they know they're there, just stuck in that back hallway. Don't want to get aggressive here, and Shells is going to do exactly that and win the gunfight.
As we've seen Shells do a number of times, but this time they weren't the one against the three. They were part of the 3 against the 1, and now Boise State is up another round and only now behind 2 as we go into our next phase. Boise State 7 to Minnesota's 9.
Yeah, they res the right person in Shells, having both flashbangs still on in their toolkit, used both of them immediately, and the Marshal was simply not enough to take down the Phantom using Shells. So now it's very still strong econ round for Boise State, but they have to make up 2 more rounds as Minnesota is up 9-7.
If they want to win, they have to make up 3 or more rounds. Just to tie, they have to win these next 2 as both teams get set up in this fight here.
Yeah, picking up the ultimate orb to try to charge it just that much quicker. It is 1 to 2 for ultimates. Shells gets the first, and Spike's going down first as well. A very quick A push Boise State's now on the defense.
Putting us with 4v4 with that elimination on the Jabal by Poppy. Dreammaker and Abstract are going to quickly follow them, and we are now 3v3. Things looking even for both teams, but Boise State has to win this round. And Panda looks like they want it as they get the elimination onto Wicked Impro, and we are now 3v2 with the advantage going to Boise State. If they win this round, they can go 8-9 and only need to win one more to tie. If they lose it, Minnesota goes up another one, and we're put back to Boise State being behind 3.
Yeah, we see Radchad trying to take that sight line against Shells, so Shells looks like they're going to have to be the only one defending in, and they will be able to take down Radchad with, or Panda will, with a shot through the wall no less, so Boise State's just going to clear it and gets the self-elimination with Panda from the spike, not able to clear it in time.
Boise State back here with the comeback, bringing it 8-9 after that 3v3 clutch on the side of Boise State.
Yeah, and the members of Minnesota were not able to even take control of the map and push Shells out of their corner, so they just simply had to run, but Radchad not able to clear it in time. Surprised Panda could not get out in time, surprisingly, but seems that we're going to get a quick little pause here as some people with that McDonald's Wi-Fi connection.
And as we're looking for here, who are the strong members that you're watching right now?
I mean, it's definitely going to be Panda on the Chamber, who's just been doing so well with the sniper. Same with Shells, who has just been able to constantly win against the odds a lot of the times. You know, they get rezzed. I believe they're at like half health or full health with no armor, and they win against Poppy on the Jet. Poppy also was doing very well on first map, and now on second map of Bind, they're not doing as well. So if we look on the side of Minnesota, Wicked was also doing very well. Has had their moments with a couple doubles here and there, but not able to capitalize it as well as they have in the previous match of Icebox. There we go. Couldn't think of the map name. So now as we jump back into it, I think a lot of eyes are going to still continue to be on Wicked and Poppy as they are on those higher speed ops of the Viper and the Jet. But we've seen the res from both stages be used, so now we're going to have to wait and see who's going to use the next. And also, a lot of eyes are going to be on the Raz of, I believe it is J-Bag on the Raz, if I remember correctly. So with them having their rocket launcher up, we could see another rocket jump coming out here as we saw them perform in the first round, which was quite amazing to see. But Radchad taking a lot of these sidelines. This is a very dangerous game to play. Once again, the same play coming out here from Boise State. Wall up against A and push right into it. But now Abstract here holding the angle.
Ooh.
Able to take down one, but Shells every time just is able to outperform some of these opposing teammates and win that gunfight.
Shells is definitely one of the most mechanically skilled players on either of the teams. They're very good at clicking heads, especially in those close corridors like that. And Boise State is now 3 members to 2 members. 8-9. If they win this, they can tie this up. If they lose this, they got to make up a couple more. Oh, Shells, no!
Yeah, they try to use the bird flashbang around the corner to get it in time, but with only Poppy being remaining to go for the defuse, they're just going to simply stay alive because they have that op. Got to save the op always. And Boise State trying to look for those last 5-second elimination, pushing into the B spawn if they can, but not able to make it in time. So once again, Boise State having another very clean round, pushing into A. See what happens when you push a different site for once? It's fantastic. They did lose a couple members with J-Bag and Panda falling very early in that matchup to Abstract, but Shells is able to win it as Minnesota did not have a very strong econ going into that. Had to spend what they had, but now Boise State, once again, going for a B push, trying to change things up because now Minnesota committing 3 members over to A.
And as we set up, we are 9-9 in Boise State's favor after they have come back from being down 3-4 at some points. They've definitely made a comeback here, so it would definitely be great if they could win this round. If Minnesota wins it, Radchad getting being first blood at the hands of Dreammaker. Things are looking pretty good for Boise State as we go 5v4. But those ultimates are always to be looked out for here as Radchad is going to get full rezzed, and we're back in a 5v4v5 situation as Panda is going to get eliminated by Poppy.
Yeah, Dreammaker with that amazing rocket jump elimination on Raz, but sadly, Radchad will get revived back by the Sage, so all that hard work gone as quickly he is eliminated by the Abstract.
And now several members of Boise State are going to go down. Shells in quick succession. Now we are 2v5. 2 members of Boise State against Minnesota's 5, and we are 9-9. If Minnesota wins this, they go up 1 and break the tie, and it looks like they might, as Jabald is the last member standing here after J-Bag gets eliminated. But they managed to get Abstract eliminated, which definitely can do nothing but help if you're eliminating the enemy team. Definitely gets the next one onto Radchad, and Jabald might just pull this out here. 1v5, now it's a 1v3.
Hopefully they check that top left. And they don't, and that's what will cost them. They looked at it for a split second, even saw the outline, and just immediately looked away, which what cost them in. Alpha took that advantage to get the elimination with their Phantom. So, but a great play by Jabal, no less. I mean, they were in a 1v5 situation and made it a 1v3. 1v3, there you go. Oh, and it was a fantastic play. They weren't able to take down Poppy, who had that operator, but did well nonetheless.
And now Minnesota is up 1, Boise State at 9, and Minnesota at 10, rounds 1 in this best of 3. If Minnesota wins this next one, they will go ahead and just win the overall match. But if Boise State can pull this out, we go to a map 3. As Poppy missed is going to be the first one going down, leaving Boise State with 5 and Minnesota with 4. So things are looking pretty good for Boise State possibly being able to tie this up.
Yeah, once again, going for the same spike plant play as Dreammaker gets taken down on early this time with no ultimate to save them with the rocket launcher. Boise State does have the res, as long as they do not lose the Sage. J-Bag is able to take down the Minnesota Sage. Jabal takes down Wicked. Huge trades across the board.
They don't even need, it doesn't even look like they need the res for the side of Boise State, as we are now 3 versus 1, and we'll see what Radchad can do to pull out. It looks like they're trying to sneak up here.
Yeah, it's all on the Sova right now. Oh, we'll even see the bird come in and void the flashbang to not give away his position. Sees the head of Shell, but is going to be going up against both of them. Able to take down one, but with the spike timer not in his favor, he will not be able to get just going for the eliminations, and that's going to be it for Minnesota. Boise State staying alive in this best of 3 right now.
Tying it back up 10-10. We'll see which side. Minnesota currently has the ultimate advantage, but that res can and absolutely has been huge, so it's not that big of an advantage on the side of Minnesota, as both teams are tied up here.
Yeah, and as we can see in the bottom left corner of the bye phase, as we're heading into round, I think this is 21. The economy is definitely in Boise State's favor right now. Oh, we saw the members of Minnesota having, I believe, just the 2 Vandals at best. Maybe it's a Vandal and a Phantom, but other than that, we could only ever see their pistols. So hopefully they bought something more. We can see through the silhouettes they did, so that's good. We just weren't able to see it while we were watching that replay. So, oh, Panda getting first elimination onto Poppy. That's huge because Poppy's been the sniper with the op. And now with that op out of commission, they have a chance.
Jabald and Dreammaker are going to go down, as well as Wicked and Alpha, leaving us in a 3v2 situation that looking pretty even for either side. 3v2 is manageable. Being down just 1 is manageable for Minnesota.
Yeah, Boise State going for the same play that won them last round, is that push on to A, getting the spike immediately down with the Sage wall, and J-Bag's able to take down Radchad, who's been doing very well. So in a 3v1 situation, and even getting Hawk scouted.
Dang. Abstract getting that elimination onto W Panda. Looks like they're going to try and see what else they can get. J-Bag going to get the elimination onto Abstract, and that's going to go ahead and just win that for Boise State. Now putting Boise State in the lead in a matchup that they were originally behind for. Doing a great job coming from behind you.
Yeah, if Boise State can win this out, it will be a hard-fought victory. The definition of it, they were behind for most of this whole matchup for this map, and now they're finally bringing it back, showing why Bind is their map. As we look at the economy, and Poppy's only having a Marshall with pistols on the side of Minnesota. So Minnesota burnt all the money that they had, and now Boise State, who's been playing very well, is having the economy advantage. pushing right into Poppy after scouting out. He has that Marshall, so going right in onto them to scout them out. We've even seen the Astral trying to scout out the map above, placing all the smokes that they can to give Boise State cover. They will be scouted out in the rotation over to B, so we're going to see multiple members of Minnesota go for the rotate.
Brad, Chad, Pop, and Mist are going to go down, as well as Abstract, leaving us in a 5v2 situation just after that initial push. W Panda and Dreammaker going to quickly go down as well, and we now have 3v2 here with all 3 members of Boise State having their ultimates. And BSU J-Bag is going to go down to Wicked. Now we're in a 2v2 situation, and this is really anybody's game as BSU Shells is going to go down, and Jabald is going to follow right after them, and Minnesota is going to go ahead and pick up this round.
Alpha T and Wicked just carried their team to this victory on this round. Wicked getting a double, Alpha getting a triple. Their other teammates at this point were nothing but meat shields and cameras to scout out the enemy. So that was a huge econ win for Minnesota, allowing them to get the guns that they need to now, for the rest of their team, to get those eliminations, because Wicked hit an Alpha. Oh, their backs must be hurting after that. So now Boise State with very weak econ here. It's an 11-11. It's not going to have the guns that they need to win this, but they're still going to buy those Vandals and Phantoms because they just had enough saved up. We do see Alpha with enough money to buy that Operator had they not bought that Phantom. So now Boise State's going to have to play a bit slower. Still looking to go for that A push, but Minnesota's ready and waiting for him.
And things are 11-11. Whoever wins this round is going to go ahead and take the lead here. And this late in the game, that's a huge deal as Alpha T is going to go down. That's their healer. That's their Resurrect that just went down there. Things are looking great for the side of Boise State as we are 5v4. Dreammaker's going to go down quickly after that, turning it into a 4v4. But Boise State does have the ability to res, should we choose to use that.
Yeah, they can even see the wall being broken down through the tiny hallway, but Poppy finally got that up. It's now taking down J-Bag. Is going to be someone you have to worry about. Runs right into Rad Chad without even being able to have the sight advantage. Will get traded out.
What looked like it could have been great for Boise State ended up ending in a team wipe with 3 members of Minnesota still alive. Going up Minnesota 12 to Boise State's 11. This is still a close match. This is match point. We'll see what happens here. Boise State really needs this next push to work. They really need the first elimination here if they want to stay in the game.
Yeah, they're all stacking up, looking for that B push. They just went for A, so now Minnesota's, it's all about the mind games of, will they continue to go for the same one, or will they just go back and forth between the two? It seems that Minnesota's going to be guessing correctly on that B defense, so Boise State could be pushing into the wall that will be the Minnesota defense.
No members going down. Both teams just trying to scout and spray some bullets and see what they can get. BSU J-Bag with that scout there, trying to figure out where Minnesota's at, what plans they can use. Both teams have the res online.
Yeah, pushing right into the sidelines.
Poppy Mist going to be the first one to go down, as well as Abstract and W Panda, Jabald, and Alpha T going to follow them, leaving us at a 3v2 with neither team having the ability to res, though both of them started with it.
Yeah, Raz will go for the rocket launcher hold, and it will take down Radchad once again. I believe Dreammaker has only been able to take down Radchad with their rocket launcher, so that's a little bit of unintentional BM from the side of Boise State. Just, hey, you're the only one in my sightlines. I'm just going to get you every single time. But Wicked's going to use everything they have in their kit here to try to take down this 1v3 situation. Jumping into the sightlines, taking a little bit of poke damage, down to 72 health with no armor. Has to try to find the spike through her own smog. Will not be enough, and Dreammaker's going to close that out with a triple. We're 12-12 even.
Definitely a great job by Dreammaker there, especially with the rocket launcher elimination there. A little bit of accidental BM, and now both teams are headed into overtime. And this has been a close match the whole time, but this is the one that really counts.
Yeah, it is, because this is game point, as you mentioned. So no matter who wins this, that's who wins at this point, unless Boise State can take it out, which will send us to a map 3, which is what we want to see. But Minnesota has been playing so well that they can easily bring this out, especially because they have the econ to buy the guns that they want after losing members. Maybe not the operators that they need for the Jet, but definitely still have a solid chance No ultimate advantage on either side except for maybe the Wicked with their ult remaining, but might not be the game changer that Minnesota needs. Because Boise State doesn't have a single ult. They might be able to grab an orb to charge it in time, but seems that they're going to go for a much slower push, try to split up the focus of Minnesota on the side of the defense with 3 members on A and 2 on B. Seems that Boise State's even going to match that with 3 on A, 2 on B.
Both teams are split pushing right now, just trying to figure out where they are, and then predictably the members will all rush to where the other team is, setting up lots of smoke screens, trying to stop people from figuring out where either team is moving. Jabald going down first for Boise State is not a good omen, but they're going to get Wicked Pro for their troubles, putting things 4-4.
Now with Boise State back on the defense, but having the guns they need could pull this out, but it seems that Minnesota will go for their own strat with the Sage Wall, goes for plant immediately, will even end up getting it, so now Boise State has to try to attack their own strat.
Shells and Abstract are going to go down, leaving us with a 3v2. And there's only one enemy left, and historically Poppy has been unable to do it, so we'll see if they can here at the final match point. And it looks like they're definitely going to try.
And the Jet has the speed to rotate over to B, and Boise State's able to quickly scout it out because they only had to go through the Jet smoke. The spike does or doesn't go down. They cancel it mid-animation and will simply get run over. Dreammaker pulling it out for Boise State. Once again, it's match point. Still in overtime, though. Boise State just needs to win this one map to close it out. These players have to be getting a tiny bit fatigued at this point because think of just how many rounds they played and how stressful it is of just down by 2, now you're up by 1, now it's overtime, and it's just back and forth between these two teams.
And Boise State definitely started as the one behind, but now they're the one ahead as we go 13-12 into overtime with Boise State being favored right now.
Yeah, hopefully they will be able to pull this win out to bring us to a map 3, but Poppy back on the operator and the high ground advantage, looking for just an early pick to turn the tides in their favor. But it seems Boise State's also going to play very reserved to their liking. But you only have a minute, so...
Both teams are too afraid to be aggressive right now.
So much is on the line.
Except for Dreammaker. Dreammaker and Jabald are going to go ahead, peek out, and get immediately eliminated by Rad Chad for their efforts. BSU JBag is going to get Rad Chad. W Panda and JBag are going to immediately fall, and it looks like Minnesota's going to pick up that round, bringing us back up 13-13. Still in overtime.
How long does this go for? It's just overtime, match point, overtime, match point, overtime. This is back and forth. If this isn't the definition of equal teams, then I don't know what is, because having to win by 2, this game could go on for a very long time until one team's just like, fine, you win, I want to go to bed.
Absolutely not. There is no giving up in the world of esports. These two teams are going to be at it until 4 in the morning at the same match. There is no giving up as we are 13-13, Boise State and Minnesota. Minnesota still with the only ultimate on the board, so they could maybe use that to go up 1, but they still need to win 2 rounds if they want to win the overall series. And Boise State needs to win 2 rounds just if they want to stay in.
And right now, Boise State taking the aggression on the defense to try to cut off the rotations for Minnesota. And surprisingly, no member has gone down. We'll see if Caster's Curse kicks in and someone goes down, but I don't think so because, like we said last round, people are definitely too afraid to get aggressive here because they want to try to go for one. Probably even attempting for the plant for a split second, immediately going to just dash away, rotate over to B. They can even hear the teleporter going off, so they know they need to rotate over to...
Oh, there it is! Poppy missed, Panda and Alpha T all going down in quick succession. Boise State at the advantage with 4 members to Minnesota's 3 members, but this is still doable for Minnesota to win this round as Dreammaker's taking some fire there, and members are looking for each other again. Wicked Pro's going to go ahead and go down, and 4v2 is a lot less winnable than 4v3.
Yeah, still trying to poke the best they can, but at least the Sage can heal in that 30 seconds. But there's not even 30 seconds left in the match, and now down at 12 health, healing up a little bit more, but it's a 4v2 situation. Unless Minnesota gets really aggressive here, this is going to be a Boise State round. Some
They
easy
end up
trades.
taking Dreammaker out so that only 3 members on the side of Boise State survive, but now we are 14 to 13, still in
Match
overtime.
point.
Boise State wins this, and then both teams have a win on a map, and we go to a map 3. If Minnesota wins this, we continue this game in overtime.
14 to 13. This is definitely one of the most evenly matched Valorant matches I have ever seen. And so now with Boise State still on the attack, or on the defense now, maybe? No. No, they're on the attack.
What do you think, Brenner? Are we going to get to 20? Is either team going to get to 20?
I mean, we've passed 20 in total. Does that count?
20 individually?
Individually, I hope not. I'd like to go get dinner at some point. So with Poppy getting the first elimination, things are not looking good for us in that
Boise
sense. But
State.
Dreammaker going right in, even has an enemy behind them.
Jabald and Alpha T going to come down immediately after that.
Where even though Boise State's still having a solid chance, Poppy slowly going in the rotation for a possible master flank here. Seems the flankers are... Oh, gets scouted out the last second. Didn't take the shot, though. They do have a Vandal. They gave up that op. They're losing the last round, so not even going to go for the... You
Poppy!
missed 2 shots!
Poppy thought about it for a second, too, as they're going to get that elimination and get eliminated themselves. Boise State down 2-1.
Poppy throwing?
J-Bag, they're not throwing. J-Bag just need, J-Bag just,
Oh
J-Bag
gosh.
needs the eliminations. They can't play passive.
Oh,
Oh,
They ran out of ammo in the mag and the spike gets diffused. So Abstract brings us back to overtime.
Terrible. 14 to 14. My dreams of one team getting to 20 are currently alive still, as both teams are tied up, and you have to win by 2 to win this map.
It's going to be nothing but Phantoms and Vandals now. Everyone's given up on snipers for operators and marshals. It's just spray and pray at this point. So even Poppy's going with the assault rifle this time around. See if on the defense for Boise State, they'll be able to once again take that.
BSU Shell's gonna go down first.
It's not what you want to see with the player who's done so well in the past getting taken down first. Now Minnesota's trying to take that 1-round lead.
And they take W Panda down as well, leaving Boise State with 3 to 5, and Minnesota with the only standing ultimate on the board currently. Both teams tied 14 to 14. Alpha T is going to go ahead and go down, which is pretty big. On the side of Dreammaker, great job. Boise State's now 3 to 4, which is much more doable than 3 to 5.
Yeah, 2 members of Boise State stuck in that back hallway right now with both entrances being covered by Minnesota and now losing one more member. In the 2v4 situation, it's possible, but swap to your secondary. It's faster than reloading.
Unlikely now, as we are 1v4 here for the side of Boise State. Dreammaker really made a valiant effort, but there wasn't much they could do at that point. And now Minnesota is the one in the position where they just need to win one more round to win this map. And if Minnesota wins this next round, we don't go to a map 3. Minnesota just wins. So Boise State really needs to pull this out, and they're at an ultimate disadvantage right now.
Yeah, we saw a lot of ultimates being used consistently, and right now it's just been stagnant between these two teams of one team is always going to have one ult, whereas the other team has none and seems to just have been sticking to that. So now Boise State back on the attack, going for that A push that has been working for them off and on so much. Now Minnesota's going to know how to defend against that, as well as Poppy
Panda,
with
no!
the operator taking down Panda. Could mean a Minnesota takes the victory here unless
Poppy's gonna go
Dreammaker
down
evens it
though,
out.
which is what we're looking for, and immediately gets Alpha T as well. So we're 4v3, both teams with an ultimate online. Things are looking pretty even, slightly to the advantage of Boise State, especially if they can get an elimination with their ultimate, exactly like that.
Got scattered out with the bird flash, and now they can get the spike plant down. Tries to go for the rocket launcher against Ratchat again. Dreammaker, why do you hate Ratchat so much? What did he do to you?
It's personal at this point with Dreammaker and Radchad. Minnesota with only 2 members in the game. If Boise State wins this, they tie and would still need to win 2 more just to stay in the game. BSU Shells is going to miss a shot for once in their life and not be able to eliminate Radchad here, who's at half HP and just waiting. Abstract and Radchad going to go down, and now we're 15-15. 20 isn't looking so far off. I gotta be honest, Brenner Bear. This overtime has been going on for several rounds now.
The legend says they're still playing Valorant to this day.
2 casters trapped in the eternal Valorant match. But this is definitely an interesting match for Boise State. And again, for Boise State to stay in this, they need to win the next 2 rounds because you need to be up 2 rounds if you want to win. And then we go to a next map. If Minnesota gets up 2 rounds, they just win, and that's it for Boise State. First elimination going on to Wicked, though. Second on to Shells, which is not what we're looking for, leaving both teams at 4v4. And Minnesota still unable to use their singular ultimate they've had. Dreammaker's going to go down, peaked when they shouldn't, and now we are 3v4 with Minnesota Sage looking pretty weak. That's a little dangerous.
Yeah, hopefully she'll be able to heal herself up over time because they do have enough time to get at least maybe 1 or 2 heals off. Boise State trying to go for a little bit of a cheeky play all the way through their spawn.
Dang!
With Chamber on that Panda, but he's going to have to end up backing off as the Sage was there with the sightlines. Couldn't have won. No, that's fine. Just take a little bit of cheeky play. You got 45 seconds, and he's backing off a lot. He's just off in Neverland right now all by his lonesome, so hopefully he does not go through that teleporter right into the sightline of that Sova.
Both teams 3v3 here, things looking very even, especially as Minnesota Sage is going to go ahead and heal up there. And now we're 30 seconds left. Somebody's got to make a move, and it's Radchad eliminating BSU J-Bag and then immediately getting eliminated themselves, leaving us back 2-2.
Once again, the wall goes up. You know the plant's going down. Denies it by destroying the wall.
Abstract's going to go down. That's pretty big for the side of Boise State.
Yeah, so Sage is getting pinched right now. Will push out, even go for the plant. Has to plant it now if they want to make the time.
Oh, they tried.
Boise State wins with the time advantage. Pressure too much on, and Panda gets a triple as well.
Switching sides.
Boise State, please win here.
If Boise State wins here, we go to a map 3, so there's still more Valorant action going on. If Minnesota wins, we tie back up and we reset this whole thing all over again.
I wish every time we went over like the normal amount of rounds, it just kept subtracting like 5 seconds off the clock. Just so it's just more and more pressure of just rush, spike plant, go.
At this point, you'd end up with a 5-second round. 5 seconds to dash and plant that spike and see who you could murder.
Team deathmatch, go.
Team deathmatch, go. That first elimination onto Panda is not what Boise State is looking for.
Especially after Panda getting a triple, you know they had a ton of money and really good. They had all the utility, all the guns they needed, but.
Second on to Wicked Pro, more up Boise State's alley. Wicked Pro, you gotta use your ultimate. It's, you've held it for the past 7 rounds in overtime.
We'll finally end up taking down the drone as well. Spike will go down, so things looking good for Boise. The pressure's on Minnesota. It's a 4v4. Still totally winnable, but Boise State trying to close this out so one of us can go get some dinner.
Oh my gosh, Poppy's gonna go ahead and pop off. So are Radchad and Alpha. Poppy's the price, but Minnesota's gonna go ahead and take this, and they have enough time to defuse the bomb here with 3 members still living to Boise State's nothing.
Yeah, going to split half and half so they can get more money to each player. So Minnesota keeping this alive, even going to res Poppy so they can pick back up that operator that they had.
Pretty big. Honestly, that operator's definitely been a problem for Boise State if they're able to get it out. Timeout is going to start very quickly. Both teams at 16-16 need to go ahead and rethink their strategies here.
Go.
Figure
We're
out
still
what they're
playing
doing.
the same match.
Go get a beverage. Sit in here for the long haul. Because at this point, these players have definitely played much more Valorant in one map than they signed up for.
So fast. So tired. It's not fine. But it's just, it's impressive that it's gone this far. And we were joking about, like, who's going to get to round 20 first? It's definitely a possibility that we could get to a round 20 for each team.
And just as we go to break here, the Idaho Army National Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State esports. Top players are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With more than 10 jobs offering $20,000 and your degree of choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. And now we're back into our overtime game, 16-16. If Minnesota wins 2 rounds, this map stops, goes to Minnesota, and they win the game. If Boise State can win 2 rounds, we go to a map 3.
So now all eyes are on Dreammaker, who will either get the first elimination or be eliminated first.
Dreammaker with the usually successful flanks. I will say Dreammaker has been an amazing asset for the side of Boise State, even though their ultimate seems a little bit like a personal grudge sometimes against Rad Chad.
I'm just waiting for the next rocket launcher kill, so that way we can just have top 5 plays of Dreammaker killing Rad Chad with the rocket launcher and just nothing else.
Oh, you're terrible. Minnesota really needs to use this ultimate finally here. They've held it for 8 rounds in overtime, about.
Either that or it's just a glitch in the system at that point. Nope, Wicked does not have it. So I think it might just be the UI glitching out of just, all right, we've played 32 rounds of Valorant. I can't, there's memory leak, we're breaking.
Well, I'm sorry, Wicked. Boise State trying to set up the wall here. BSU Jabald ending the push from that side as we have all of our smoke walls set up. Jabag looking for somebody to shoot at here. Not really finding anything just yet. Looks like Rad Chad's going to be the first one to get the elimination. Shells, Jabald, and Mist are going to go down, leading with Minnesota up 1 here. Now even on both sides as Wicked's going to go down to Panda, who's been another amazing asset on the side of Boise State here. And Abstract is going to go down to Dreammaker. And
Boise.
Dreammaker's just going to go ahead and pull that out. And we're going to go 17-16.
Switching sides.
Dreammaker got an elimination with that frag right as they jumped down from that top window after rotating from A over to B. It was really well timed. We could see them getting it right there onto Abstract. Spike goes down, but is interrupted by Dream, who made that rotation in time. Panda gets the flank. A well-coordinated strike by Boise State, because we all know that frag was totally planned to get that elimination. So now Boise State could win this and bring us to a map 3 for even more Valorant. Woo! If map 3 is like this, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I think you're already on that road there, Brenner Bear. Not gonna lie to you, as we are 17-16 in this Valorant game. Both teams kind of dancing around each other still, but they've definitely, certain members have definitely lost a little bit of their fear, and we're definitely seeing much more impressive aim than we've seen at all other times, because at this point, everybody is all kinds of warmed up. As Dreammaker and Wicked are going to stand off, and Dreammaker's going to go ahead and put Boise State down a member.
Yeah, Dreammaker never even fired a bullet. It was just a clean 2-tap down. So now Boise State being down a member is going to have to play a little bit more reserved. Having yet to even get onto the site. Most of them still not even entering the bomb site. Getting a little bit sightlines on who's where. They know Alpha's in that corner, so now it's a Sage off. Both slows going down to try to prevent any cheeky rushing. Slowly pushing onto point. Sage can throw down the wall and gets the spike down, but trade's coming out.
3 versus 3, 2 versus 2. Things looking pretty even for both sides. We got to put the spike down, though, to win the game. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and do just that.
J-Ball and Panda taking on Wicked and Abstract, so.
Both teams having a face-off, neither one really wanting to peek here. Ooh, Wicked's gonna go down, so's Jabal. This is a 1v1 for the win on Boise State's part.
Oh, Panda with the triple.
Gets it!
And finally, Boise State will close out Bind against Minnesota, bringing us to a map 3.
And Panda is getting hoisted on the shoulders of their teammates over there for ending this game 18-16, which was very impressive. Both sides had really a lot to show.
They showed everything they had in those 34 rounds that they played.
Oh my
Panda
goodness.
coming out on top of everything with, I believe, most kills, which is what that was. So, big props to Panda, like you said, on the teammates' shoulders, but I'm tired.
And we're going to go to a break after that amazing overtime match. Panda, great job.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You are watching our coverage of the Week 2 ECAC Collegiate Valorant League. You can see our amazing production back there, our amazing Valentine's Day base decor. Boise State is looking to pick up their second win tonight against the previously undefeated Minnesota. And so far, both teams are up one after an 18-16 Valorant matchup between these two teams. To say they're evenly matched would be a little bit of an understatement. I'm your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, and joining me to call all of the action is still Brenner Bear Ladd after all of the Valorant we have played. And so at this point, fatigue is setting in for everybody. How do you subvert that as a player?
As a player, I mean, this is the final map. This is where it all culminates to where this determines everything, who stays undefeated. And technically, neither of these teams are undefeated because they each lost a map, but it's in the overall standings. We don't look at map wins specifically, but they know, and we know. But for that mentality going forward of we have not lost a game to another team, this is where, you know, they get the final last adrenaline rush, the last hoorah of just, we're out here on the final map, and it is going to be Haven, so both these teams should be fairly even on it. This was the Minnesota's pick because they did lose, so things to look forward to.
This is still a 5v5 best of 3, first to 13, and we swap after the 12th round in Valorant. As we saw, though, our last match went a lot longer than 13. We went all the way to 18 and 16. So to say this has been hard fought is incredibly accurate for both teams. And we expect this next match to be another incredibly hard fought battle, no matter who's going to end up winning on Haven.
Yeah, and that's one thing we should actually add to that is it's first to 13 must win by 2, which is how we got to 18 to 16 because they had to win by 2. So theoretically, Valorant matches could just go on forever until one team just, you know, passes out from exhaustion or something. But, you know, it's happened. So anything is possible, but with these matches being live, we will have to wait and see. We saw the timeouts in the previous match, and with so many more to continue forward going into Haven, you know, this is a very well-known map in Valorant, so these teams are going to have these strategies nailed down, and it's one of the only maps to have 3 bomb sites, so possibly we might go a little bit shorter than 34 rounds.
And we saw the lineups to there, and today's lineups are brought to you by Count. Count's Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experience for more than 9,000 leading brands. And honestly, with how close everything is right now, everybody could use some Doc's keys to the game, which in Valorant is focus the angles and flank. Know your win condition, count cards / call abilities, and click heads, which is pretty standard for every first-person shooter out there. And Doc's Keys to the Game are brought to you by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. And as we move on to this next map, Haven, 3 bomb sites, which one are you going for? A, B, or C?
D. Correct answer. I nailed it. But we're also seeing new faces on the side of the agents. We saw Cypher returning. Or I don't know if we saw him on the first map. It's been so long. But with new agents, new abilities, different strategies, but this is also Haven, a map that has been in Valorant since, I believe, the beta. So it's been around a long time. So players have been able to just nail down their strategies of whether they want to go right down the middle to, I believe it is B site, or then it's A or C on the far sides. Don't quote me on that. I've totally played Valorant. So with this going into Haven with operators on both sides, we're seeing Jabald now taking over Shell's previous operator, Panda back on the Jet, Poppy still on the Jet, as well as Abstract sticking to that Astra, as well as J-Bag on the Astra. Shells is now on the Cypher, and Dreammaker swapping off that Raz over to the Sova. So it's going to be a little bit of some 1v1s, but now the Killjoy is also coming out here. So Minnesota is trying to, each team bringing out some new faces. So now with, okay, so it is A, B, and C, but I just had them flipped. Perfect. I knew exactly what I was talking about. So with the Astra already immediately putting down those smokes, it should allow for some early game aggression and maybe some close range. I'm still waiting for that melee kill to come out here, but as we keeping eyes on JBag with the first 10 seconds to kick off. Not many different guns than the classics as we cut over to Panda, who does have the Sheriff, but everybody's sticking to that classic and Ghost.
Which makes sense. It seems to have served them well these last couple matches. Both teams are currently at match point. Whoever wins this wins and gets to continue in Collegiate Valorant, and both teams have almost entirely switched up their comps. What are the win conditions of these new comps that they're running?
For the side of Minnesota, it's going to be around that Killjoy ult as soon as they can get it up, so you know they're going to try to prioritize that. Because now their team is running a Sage this time around because they don't want to go for those reses or heals. The wall can be good, but so many of the walls of the map are can be shot through, so the Sage is not able to block off enough of those rotation points. So now trying to take down that little utility that was down, Sova's going to have to use his scout bow as 3 members of Minnesota are going to go right into the B site in the middle. Will be traded out, though.
Rad Chad is going to go ahead and trade, leaving both teams 4-4 even here, as Wick is going to go ahead and try to plant that. Going Dreammaker, W Panda, Abstract, Shells, and Alpha are all going to fall in quick succession, and there's the fight right there with only 2 remaining alive members from Minnesota, and close matchup. It's been a close matchup all night, but especially that last matchup with only 2 surviving members, as we are now 0-1 for the side of Minnesota going into this next phase.
Yeah, this is one of the rare situations that we've seen Boise State not win the early rounds, but they are a little bit closer to their ults than the side of Minnesota, having that 3 out of 7, if I saw that correctly. So now going into this round 2, and so many Sheriffs still on the board. I believe only 1 member of Boise State had a Spectre, whereas it was different guns across the board for the side of Minnesota. They might even had a Marshall as well, so trying to go for those light snipes as well could pay off for them. But throwing down that turret right off the bat, you're going to have to try to just run into the face of that Killjoy. Will not pay off, but will come out of it with the negative health, and Poppy wins the 1v1 against Panda with the Spectre.
And Jabal is going to go down, leaving us 3-5, which feels a little bit overwhelming. But if BSU can get a pick here, then that would be huge for them and would even things up a little bit. And that's not the pick we were talking about, J-Bag. It wasn't supposed to be on you, as now Boise State is down 2-5, and this is looking very in the favor of Minnesota.
Yeah, they've practically swapped sides of the map with the remaining 2 members of Boise State now in the attacker's spawn, slowly rotating over to C, but it's a 2v5 situation. At best, you can try to take down 1 or 2 of them and then simply save for the econ round. This is still a very early round that you just want to play very safely, and it seems Boise State's going to do exactly that, just holding their sight lines, not going to go for the bomb site, waiting for Minnesota to just get too antsy, push out of it, and into the angles to get those free eliminations. So seems Boise State's just going to hold their angles.
Everybody's holding their angles and waiting for somebody else to move right now, especially Poppy Mist over here.
Yeah, so it's just going to be, make sure you don't die to the spike as the members of Boise State die to the spike.
And that's definitely how that had to end up. I mean, if you're all waiting for the angles, the spike is still there. The spike exists to force you to have to do things, or you get eliminated and lose the round. And now Minnesota is up 2 to Boise State 0. Things are looking pretty good for them right now.
Yeah, almost everybody has an AR in their hands. 2 members, or 3 members actually, of Minnesota are going to stick to that Spectre, whereas the other remaining 2 are actually going to go over to the AR category with that Bulldog and Vandal in hands. But now if you look on the side of Boise State, they're just sticking to the Phantoms and Vandals, so hopefully they will have the gun advantage as they take that ult orb to try to charge them just that much quicker. We haven't seen any ults built up yet, as it is only round 2. But if we saw a possible solo ace coming out from them, the ults would be charged just that much quicker. And now with the Sova having the spike going for the plant, Minnesota's once again trying to go for an either B or C take. No one's gone for A because Boise State has 2 members guarding that hallway so close to the attacker spawn.
And that is usually the strategy, to shut down that point A there, leave at least 1 or 2 people in that hallway to make it almost impossible to traverse through. So Boise State taking care of one of the 3 drop points here, as now both teams are looking at each other and about to engage here.
Yeah, trying to disrupt that spike plan with the ability, but will get scouted out. Able to take down Alpha through the wall as Panda takes down Wicked, trying to even things out. Boise State trying to win a round.
Boise State up 5 to Minnesota's 2, so it's definitely looking like they can win this round and possibly take it 1-2 here.
Human shield at this point, just body block for your team.
Oh my gosh. Jabal, Abstract, J-Bag, and Panda are all going to come down here, and now it's a 2-1 versus 5-on-2. And BSU Shells is finally going to go down, and now it's a 1v1. And honestly, at this point, I think the solo, I think Poppy Mist honestly deserved that at that point. They almost did it. And now the bomb is going to be defused, and Boise State is going to win a round and take us 1-2 against Minnesota. And honestly, we never expected the gap to be more than 2 here, so maybe this is how it's meant to be.
Also, if you are a Poppy right now, you feel terrible because at the tail end of that, she popped her ult to try to get the final kill and died in her ult. So you have to feel so bad of I got my ult, I died with my ult, and then it's just gone. So now she has an operator though, so Poppy back on that sniper, hoping to close out the round this time around, but Panda bringing out the LMG. I believe that is an Ares. It's an Ares or Odin. Those are the only 2 LMGs, so it's one or the other. But Shells with the Cypher placing as many tripwires as he can. Poppy clearing mid against Panda with that op.
And now we are 4v5 going into here. And that's exactly what we didn't want coming from Poppy here. And BSU Shells is going to go down immediately after that, leaving us 3-5 as more shots are exchanged. Now 2-5, and at this point, you gotta imagine the remaining members, now as J-Bag gets eliminated, they're just gonna try to eliminate as many people as they can.
Yeah, Poppy on a double right now, looking for that third. The final remaining of Dreammaker, who's actually playing much safer now, not trying to be the first one to die or get the kill. So trying to just hold their angle. Might just have to go for the save at this point with all 5 members of Minnesota alive and the spike about to explode. We'll just peek the angle and give Alpha the triple. So 2 doubles there with between Poppy and Alpha.
Flawless run by Minnesota is going to take us up 3-1. Boise State 1, Minnesota 3. And this is for the win tonight. Both teams are at match point. So first to 13, winning by 2 is what we're looking for.
Yeah, whoever can get to 13 first and not have that incredibly close game of the previous map should be able to take this away. And we do see even ults across the board, 1-1. Hopefully we will see Boise State take a round to continue this difference of 2 and nothing greater than that. But seems Minnesota on the attack for Haven has been just simply outperforming Boise State so far. But have to wait and see if they can close that gap, as it is simply the game of hold your angles because we don't have the money to buy good guns.
Which makes a lot of sense, and it looks like Alpha T is going to be the first one that goes through here, and that would be a mistake because they'd be walking into J-Bag and Jabald as they're going to go ahead and back off there. All the teams are just waiting for somebody to peek them at this point.
Yeah, this is the defensive play that we need. I'm surprised Boise State is still committing 2 members to A, even though Minnesota has not tried to push it once. They've gone for the C, they've gone for the B plans, and have gotten both of them, but have yet to get the A attack. Panda's going to even pop the Jet ult. See if they can pick off a member, but it's all about the precision aim as Killjoy gets the first elimination against Cypher.
And we're going to see what Shells can. We're going to see Shells get eliminated there, leaving us 4v5 here. The ultimate is being used. No value has been gotten so far here, as we're maybe looking for some on the side of Boise State here to try to even things out in this 4v5.
And right now the members of Boise State are all stacked up. 4 members in that tiny hallway. Finally, Panda is able to pick up one, which refreshes their ult as Abstract gets a double. Jet just going in, gets 2 more.
One enemy
Will not
remaining.
finish it out.
Not quite enough for them to win the round, but they definitely went ahead and popped off there as Boise State is now down 1-4 for the side of Minnesota, with Minnesota having 2 ults online to Boise State's 1.
Yeah, Panda with that jet ult. Hopefully as this replay pops off, gets the double, which brings them to a triple. Now Dreammaker made the turnaround, but Abstract got in the backline with their own triple. So you know the econ is looking good for at least Panda on that squad. But as the next round's kicking off, we can take a look at the weapons of the team and see that Minnesota is still having that advantage, as well as also having the ult advantage. We can see Boise State commit a couple ults to that previous fight and still did not secure the win. Tripwires go down on C. Still 2 members holding A very aggressively, I might add. About to engage, 1 member takes him down.
Alpha T is going to go ahead and get eliminated first by Dreammaker. The flank is going to go ahead and pay off there and leave Boise State at 5 and Minnesota at 4 with 1 ultimate on the board for each team.
Yeah, and finally, as you mentioned, Boise State is up a member. See how long this will last, as this is probably one of the biggest gaps we have seen between these two teams, being at 1-4.
Deploying drone.
Maybe we have seen this gap before, but I don't remember. It has been a long night of Valorant as we continue things on.
You are definitely right. The gaps between these teams have never been bigger than 4 rounds. So if Boise State is going to make the turnaround, now would definitely be the time.
Yeah, because Minnesota definitely has the win condition right now. If they can get to round 12, they have the possibility of the win. They just have to win the 1 early attack, which we know they can do. They did it this map. Maybe they'll be able to do it again, or it's just an attacker-favored map, as Boise State will lose Panda. So it is even, but now the Killjoy ult will come out here.
1 enemy remaining.
And Minnesota's going to go down there, Rad Chad Wicked, and leave only 1 member versus the 3 members of Boise State. At this point, if you're Minnesota, you got to hold your ult for next round and see what you can do.
Yeah, and Shell's coming out of it with a double elimination and the Cypher ult as well as the Astra ult online. But Astra ult is also online for Minnesota as well as the Sova ult. So we'll have to wait and see how they play out. They do have the ult advantage with the 3-2. But after losing a round, the econ is in Boise State's favor, as well as the op on Panda. So we might see some Jet sniper battles, as both Jet and their players are the sniper preferred for each team.
And that makes a lot of sense. We saw Panda get a lot of value on that Jet. We saw Poppy, excuse me, get a lot of value on that Jet. We'll see if Panda will be able to match or exceed that as Boise, and see if we can close the gap between Boise State and Minnesota, going here 2-4, as both teams are still kind of in the scouting phase, trying to figure each other out.
Yeah, it's all about the mind games of who's going to push where, and it just
Wicked
gets dialed
is
up
going to
to
go
11.
ahead and get eliminated first there as things get dialed up to 11, leaving us 5-4.
1 enemy remaining.
Now 5-1, as Alpha T and Abstract and Poppy are all going to go down in very quick succession to BSU Shells, who did one heck of a play before they were finally eliminated there.
Yeah, finally taken down by Rad Chad. Boise State's just going to get aggressive and take down Rad Chad to deny him any possible econ or saving the op. So Boise State closing it out with so close to a flawless, but sadly Shells just didn't have the life to sustain against the Sova. Rad Chad just barely able to edge that one out for his team and take down at least 1 member. So now back into Boise State and 2 rounds back-to-back, trying to even it out. These teams are the definition of match made in heaven, because it's just back and forth. If they get a lead, they make sure to even it out right away.
And we are now 3-4 with Boise State, both teams having a full 5 members. Boise State having 2 ultimates to Minnesota's 1 as we enter the scout phase and people figure out where other people are. Rad Chat and Wicked Pro are going to go down in very quick succession, leaving us 5-2 here. with Minnesota
One
being
enemy
down 3
remaining.
members, now 4 members, as Abstract is going to get eliminated off screen there. And Boise State is still at all 5. This could almost be a flawless victory here. And I'm not going to lie, that shot kind of stressed me out because that whizzed right by the Boise State member's head.
Not even going to pick up the op because they don't need it. They have the guns they want. And finally, though, Boise State ace comes out as we are even across the board with 4-4. Spike getting picked up by the Sova and the Reyna ult in the toolkit of Minnesota. But Boise State has 3 ults of their own. Jabald, Shells, and... Ooh, forgetting names now. of the Astra, there you go.
We'll go ahead and see if we can use any of those ultimates to great effect here as both teams set up. Minnesota's definitely at an ultimate disadvantage, and both teams are at the same amount of points, 4-4 here, Boise State to Minnesota.
Yeah, trying to use their abilities to the best that they can will end up getting shot out by the Alpha, who's once again still pushing mid. J-Bald won this engagement last time, but it was up against that Killjoy. Now Poppy's giving it their own try, but still holding on to any ults that they can as they rotate back over to see a huge dash coming out here, but it seems that they're finally going to go for a B or A push this time around.
And whoever wins this one wins the round, and Boise State's looking like they're going to go ahead and win this round because they're 5-4. Things can still change, obviously, but with the massive ultimate advantage, Boise State can definitely use one of them to go up 5 to Minnesota's 4.
They just need to press X, and it seems this might be the first A push ever. Hearing bullets be exchanged, but cannot see it on our end.
As
Did see the ult come out for Jabal, yeah.
There, yeah.
Trying to scout out where the enemy team is. Follow them to the best of their ability, but will not follow it past the point of no return.
And will not be able to find out a ton there as Panda's going to go ahead and take out Poppy Mist in the sniper battle there and immediately takes out Alpha T after. And it looks like Panda's the person to watch here as they're going to take down almost the entire Minnesota team single-handedly here as Radchat's going to go ahead and take them out, however, which is less than optimal for Boise State. But hopefully they'll be able to recover their gear and come back at it next round and maybe go up 6-4 at the current 5-4 in the favor of Boise State.
Could have been a flawless, but Panda's throwing. You got that triple and just died. Come on, man. We need more Boise's aces.
But Panda won the sniper battle, and that's the
Oh, yeah, 100%. The battle between Poppy and Panda, both on jets, both being the snipers, is something that I expect to come out a lot, especially that Panda has been winning them so far, but now it seems all the SMGs are on the side of Minnesota, so they might be trying to go for those rush close-range plays. So we want to see Panda kind of staying a bit closer range, or just dash into their gunfire.
And Panda gets eliminated. Wicked Pro, Abstract, and Radchat immediately coming after that. Boise State up 2 to Minnesota's 2 and Boise State's 4. And it's looking like Boise State could probably win this round, especially with that next elimination there. Now it's 4 versus 2, and it looks like Jabald is playing a little bit carefully there against that single hero. And that makes sense because J-Bag just got eliminated. But Boise State's going to go ahead and win that with 3 members still alive. And now Boise State is up 6-4. Now, historically, this is the time where Minnesota would usually win a round because neither of these teams are very comfortable with letting the other one be up 2.
Yeah, and we also saw Poppy in that previous round pop the jet ult, even fired it at Jabald, but was not able to hit the shot, and that ended up costing them a life, which allowed Boise State to get another triple. They do have the Cypher and Sova and Jet ult online against the Reyna ult. So it is the 3v1 situation. They're looking good to continue this lead, maybe get their own 3-win lead here. As once again, Reyna's trying to push up mid, and Jabald will scout it out with the dog.
And Jabald is waiting for, holding their sightlines, waiting for somebody to peek here, but unfortunately Minnesota seems to have the same idea, so nobody's really peeking anybody right now, as Boise State and Minnesota both have all 5 of their members alive.
Yeah, the Jet, when flying into her own smoke, was barely seen her feet, will end up falling.
Last player
Huge
standing.
trades. Abstract on a triple.
And now Boise State and Minnesota both have just a single member alive, one with ultimates on the side of Minnesota. But I have to wonder if using the ultimate at this point would be worth it. So at this point, it's just down to mechanical skill and who peaks first. And in this case, it was Abstract. And that was the very nice shot. Abstract was completely unaware, not looking in the direction. Amazing job by Boise State that is now up 7-4. And this is match point. Whoever wins this wins the game.
It was an Astra v Astra, and J-Bag took it away even after Abstract got a triple. So, and now with 3 ults across the board for each team, hope to see some X's being pressed here, especially because Minnesota needs to win a round if they don't want to just get hit, possibly swept from here on out. So pressure's on for both teams here. If Boise State can just continue their winning streak, or Killjoy will activate her ult, as well as the Astra ult coming out here. Dreammaker is bringing out his own ult, gets a 2-piece with it. Big plays.
And now Boise State is now 5-3, which is not looking good for Minnesota. It looks like Boise State might be able to take this and go up 8-4 against Minnesota here.
Yeah, the Killjoy ult came out, but since she died, that ended. J-Bag gets the shots through the wall, once again winning the Astra v Astra battle. So now it's just J-Balls and J-Bag holding the main entrance, as the remaining 2 members of Minnesota are going to have to back off.
And it looks like at this point the members of Boise State are too, Jabald and J-Bag are too scared to push right now. And they're up 4-2, and so a certain amount of caution is expected, but the win is definitely in your favor. So be careful, but not scared.
Yeah, definitely hold your sightlines and listen for the footsteps as they go for the first ever A push, possibly might end in success. They do have the spike. Jet will have to dash away just to try to survive. J-Bag's going to take some poke, only at the 40 HP remaining though. Will to get poked down with 1 single bullet from Red Chat.
J-Bag going down is a big, and Brad Chad going down is also big. Boise State now 3-1 here as we go in.
Yeah, Spike
and then
goes
Poppy's going to be the last one to go down.
Dream gets a triple, with that final triple being shot through the wall to take down Poppy. So things looking very good for Boise State. This is a 4-round lead. This is definitely the biggest round lead we've ever seen between these 2 teams.
8-4, definitely working in Boise State's favor here. We'll see if they'll be able to get the couple more rounds to kind of round this out and get the reverse sweep on Minnesota, who won the first map.
Yeah, it seems after the first 34 rounds of map 2, Boise State just has the stamina to continue, and Minnesota just can't keep it up so far. So now we will have to wait and see how they will perform going in to round 13, right before they swap. Or no, they just did swap actually, my bad. That's so just need to get to that 13 and they will be able to take away with a win.
And now Boise State 5-5, but members on Boise State are looking pretty weak, which is a little scary for this round.
Yeah, Minnesota did win the first round when they were on attack, and with Wicked getting first blood against Panda. Panda being one of the very good players on Boise State in these early rounds is not what you want to see, especially the Jet having those movement abilities. And J-Bolt getting down to 59 HP. Boise State not looking too good. Might
very
lose
scary
this round and lose that 4-0 lead.
Very, very scary. Jabag and Shells are going to be picked out immediately from behind Jabald without any awareness whatsoever. And now we are 5-1 here.
Gotta check your corners, guys.
And it looks like this round is going to go ahead and go over to Minnesota unless Boise State can really pull the clutch.
It's fine. He has like 10 HP. He has 11 HP.
One off.
He'll be fine.
30 seconds left.
He has his E up. That can murder people, right?
I think he can get one. I believe he can at least get one.
His name is the Dream Maker. Okay, the right click probably wasn't the best idea there, but
I believe he can get at least one of the 5.
He's got 10 seconds.
10 seconds left.
Pressure's on.
Flawless.
No, not quite
Shot out
there.
of the sky.
But definitely Definitely made an attempt. Valiant effort, Dreammaker. I saw you trying to be sneaky. It's just unfortunate that Minnesota did too. And now Boise State is now only up 3, 8-5.
BYB fam.
Trying to close in that gap right now and bring us to Infinite Valorant once again in overtime, but still have to get to overtime first. And right now, no ults from that round swap, and also the econ in the favor of Minnesota. We do see that one Marshall on the side of Radchat as well. So possible snipe plays might be coming out here. The camera for Shells as well, giving them that little bit of sideline, but they're going for the full C push. Will be scouted out due to the smoke being placed. So the Jet's going to have to just dash right in. The Shells goes and gets the plant.
Which is exactly what you're looking for Boise State. And no members have gone. Wicked Pro is going to be the first one to go down. Panda and Abstract are going to immediately follow. Panda with the trade. Dreammaker is going to follow. And now we are 3-on-3. Things looking pretty even. Dreammaker, Alpha T, J-Bag, and Radchat are all going to go down. And now it's a 1v1 in the favor of Minnesota, however, with Boise State being at low HP.
Classic versus a Bulldog. Hopefully, there you go. Bulldog should win that fight, and Poppy will end that with a triple. Closing the gap once again. No one's allowed to have a bigger than a 2-round lead right now.
And now Boise State is now up only 2, 8-6 here as we go next. And both teams are setting up, seeing what they can do.
Yeah, we saw in the replay Poppy getting the 2-piece because once again, Boise State running into the crutch of they were perfectly lined up. So Poppy just had to hold down the trigger and got the 2-piece, not even having to adjust their aim. Boise State needs to play a little bit more staggered, not in the straight line. So hopefully we can see that happen in these next couple rounds as the econ is, or the guns are finally in the favor of Boise State. They got those Vandals and Phantoms, what they are very comfortable with, so they can definitely take it away with a possible win here as Poppy's still with this Bulldog. Trying to clear down mid, but with no snipers, I don't expect a mid contest to come out here for Boise State.
And Boise State's just kind of rotating. Nobody's really found each other. Nobody's really hard engaged yet. They kind of know where, except Poppy Mist is going to go down to get out sniped by Panda there. And now Boise State is 5-4, up 1 here.
Yeah, the Killjoy ult is up though. So if they want to utilize it, they definitely can, but they are also very split right now. Just 4 members in a line across the map so far. Boise State's still looking for a possible C push once again. We'll just have to go in nice and slow. As we say in Siege, they are ult walking as slow as possible to make sure that no footsteps are ahead. We'll walk right into Radchat, who only had the classic.
Jabal is going to get taken down as well as Alpha T, and things are 4-2 in the favor of Boise State. Things are, and especially with that pick onto Wicked, things are now 4-1.
Shell's down at 20 HPs, the only low health team member right now. Everybody is up against Abstract. Still can have that Astro 1v1 if she just picks the right sight line, but it seems she's just going to take on Dreammaker, who gets a simple 1-tap headshot onto her with the Phantom. So that will be it in the perfect cam.
A little bit of some tricky camera action there on 20 HP as we set up in this next one. Going 9-6, Boise State up 3, and whoever first to 13, as long as they're up by 2, wins overall. What is has been a very hard-fought night for both of these teams.
Yeah, 9-6, and it's only a best of 3. It feels like it's been a best of 5, that's for sure, as these teams have continued to go the distance with each other. But they still have the Killjoy ultimate. I would hope to see it use this round just so they can continue to charge her afterwards. We can see the Astra going into her form to place down those smoke grenades so she can activate later or just right off the bat. Most of the members of Boise State still got to keep their guns, with Panda engaging hard onto Radchat and winning it.
With only 12 and then a single HP, so they end up trading because Abstract comes up, and now we are 4-4 with Minnesota still having the Killjoy ultimate up, but not using it.
Yeah, Yeah, so Spike will end up going down as Shells decides to hold the angle rather than plant and give it over to Dreammaker. Dreammaker gets the plant. Killjoy ult will go down, so Dreammaker is going to answer it with his own. Got a double with it last time, will not get it this time though.
And now at this point it is 3-2 in the favor of Boise State as we set up here, even though now it's 2-2 with Poppy Mist getting that elimination onto Shells. Jablad is looking for him at this point as we are 2-2 with one ultimate online for the side of Minnesota.
Yeah, this is where you wanted to have the Sova ult with those 3 map-piercing arrows, but just used it simply too early, and so Minnesota will take away with that win. And they have the Jet ult up now, so it could be a huge play coming out from Minnesota, but they're going to have to be ready for the 2 ults of Boise State.
And now we are Boise State is still up 9-7. The age-old 2-round gap. These 2 teams are usually tend to stay within. Boise State has 2 ultimates to Minnesota's 1, but that Jet ultimate can be an incredibly high-impact ultimate that can totally wipe an entire team.
Yeah, she just has to land her shot, so all eyes are gonna be on Poppy for this, who is 16-10. So definitely a just very high kill game for both of these players as Alpha gets the first blood.
I'm going to go down to Shells there and put Boise State in the awkward position of being down an ultimate and a player here as they are 4-5. And Panda's going to go ahead and get eliminated by Rad Chad, and so now it's 3-5 in the favor of Minnesota. Not unwinnable, but definitely not fun, as BSU, J-Bag, and Rad Chad are going to go down as well. And it's 2-4, which is much more unwinnable, especially when both members are low HP.
And Minnesota still has 3 ultimates on the board.
Last player standing.
And now at this point, it's 1 versus 4, and you just kind of see who you can eliminate here to ease the burden for next round.
Shots barely just going too high. Alpha was even low health, so they could definitely have won that fight, but Alpha manages to pull away with it. So now with the members of Boise State having 3 ults, it's 3-3 ults right now. Boise State Dreammakers got that 18-8 right now, looking at that scoreboard. But all of the Phantoms in the world on the side of Minnesota right now, definitely think it's their favorite gun across the board. Or they're just possibly trying to go for a little bit of memetry, as Boise State actually sticking with saving for a round, just going pistols and specters only.
And they do have a 1-point lead against Minnesota with 9-8, so they do have the potential if they'd like to try to take a save round here. As Poppy Mist is going to be the first one to go down, as well as Alpha T, and it doesn't even matter if they're saving because now they're up 2.
Yeah, and Panda did pop the Jet ult as well, got an elimination with it, so still has it active for at least 5 more shots if that's still fully refreshed. They're going to be holding on to that for the rest of it. The Astra ult was also used, so the wall goes down. Damage exchanged up in heaven between Wicked and multiple members of Boise State, but 2 of them in the smoke. Dreammaker will take down Rad Chad.
Jabald and Wicked are going to go down immediately after, though, and that's going to be an almost flawless victory with 4 members with only 1 death against Minnesota's 5.
Yeah, Panda closing out that round with a triple, doing very well. But now, well, Minnesota has the only ults on the board with the Jet and Reyna ult. So some definitely big plays can be made here, but we will have to wait and see. But Boise State holding their 2-0 lead right now, getting very close and risky last time, but continue to maintain it this time around, as it seems that they're just going to go for a C rushing push with 4 members stacked up on this door.
And sticking together, it tends to be the play that works well for
just
Boise
not single
State
file.
here. Just
Please
not
don't be
in
single file.
As we set up here around the smoke screen, trying to figure out what's going on. Rad Chat is going to get sniped. So is Wicked Pro by Panda over there, and Boise State is now up 2.
The double
with
headshot. Panda's trying to close it out right now. Scouting arrow even going out will make them back off. And Spike gets planted, so now in a 5v3 situation, things are looking dire for Minnesota.
Especially because they're already down the 2, and if Boise State wins this, it will be 11-8, only 2 away. And Boise State's going to go ahead and lose one of their members and turn this into 4-3, and now it's just 4-1 as the final member of Minnesota just sees what havoc they can wreak with their 100 HP.
Saw the head, just barely peek.
Oh!
Will even get the headshot at the tail end. He's going to have to go for the spike defuse, but has no way of clearing long. He's going to throw down the smoke, and seems that they're just going to go for survive rather than the defuse. Hopefully they don't die to the spike. That's the goal. There you go.
And it does look like those 3 to the 1 just surviving to see what they can get. Boise State still at a massive advantage here, 11-8. They only need to win 2 more to win here.
Yeah, and Alpha did shut down Panda after getting a triple, so Panda was not able to survive with that extra cash of the streak and living. But they still have plenty of money, so we should see a pretty even econ run across the board, as we also saw Poppy with that operator once again. So you could see sniper battles coming out between these 2 jets. Camera going down immediately in the mid, waiting to see if anybody's there. Will destroy the Killjoy turret. Even shots through the wall, but I think you have to be a little bit closer to the left to be able to hit it.
And now at this point, Boise State is down a single member, Panda, who's historically been a carry for them, which could spell doom for Boise State here if they're not careful and if they don't get an elimination onto the side of Minnesota soon.
Panda was also the only one on Boise State who had an ult, so Minnesota's still holding on to that Reyna ult. Needs to use it at some point.
Dreammaker's going to go ahead and go down, and now Boise State is 3-4 as Dreammaker and Abstract are going to both go down.
Blinded.
Killjoy Sheriff kill, brutal. Both Hawks going into the face of Alpha and still wins the fight.
Jabald's going to go ahead and go down to Alpha T, and now we have 2v4, which feels pretty unwinnable, to be honest.
Well, with headshots like that, taking down Alpha, Boise State can easily bring it back. They just need the spike. Protected, because they did plant it.
Turn out.
And it definitely looks like they will be unable to do that here as diffusers get set up here. And Boise State is now completely down. Everybody with 3 surviving members on the side of Minnesota. Taking us to 11-10 with just the 1 gap here. Or 11-9 here, excuse me, with just the gap of 2.
Yeah, if Boise State can win 2 rounds, they'll close out this best of 3. I pray to God we don't go to overtime, but anything is possible in Valorant, especially with just being the 1-click headshots can be such a game turner. And with both, or no, Minnesota does not have their jet ult, they just have practically every other ult up. Whereas Boise State only has the jet, so all eyes are going to be on Panda. Hopefully we don't see Panda dying first, but Poppy's going to get into the 1v1 with Panda at A and win it with the operator.
Which is definitely not what you're looking for if you're Boise State trying to win these last 2 rounds to win the game. You're definitely not looking for Panda to go down first again. With no res or anything online, it's looking like this might be a Minnesota round.
Definitely has the chance to be, as we did see Minnesota commit the Sova ult to it. Did not get any value because they did have, I believe they had 3 ults at the start of this. So that did not get any value. No Astra ult up, no Cypher. Boise State not having anything at all. Is just going to have to simply rely on the gunplay. There's only 1 member defending A, so they can easily take it if they took that sideline. But Poppy with the op is not going to fall easily.
And then going to get eliminated by Dreammaker as well, now leaving us with 3-4. So Boise State only down 1 as the spike is planted.
Yeah, so now they're on the defense game of A as the Killjoy comes out as well. So Boise State's going to have to get aggressive, try to get out of it. Dreammaker only trades 1.
Radchad and Jab are going to go down, and there's just 1 versus 3, and we'll see if they're able to do it. This is looking pretty unwinnable at this point as the spike is going to go ahead and get defused, but it looks like BSU JBag just wants to live and see if they can keep some of the stuff that they have here.
Yeah, trying to hold the sideline, doesn't peek, tries to save the Phantom, save as much economy as they can. Now they have the 3,500 to spend possibly buy their teammates guns if need be. So Boise State, it's 11-10. They're losing that lead. They can lose one more round, and then they have to get a clean 2 sweep in order to win the game. But Poppy's still holding on to this operator. Buying another one. Panda on having a pistol. No teammate's going to buy them a gun or anything.
Which seems a little strange here. Maybe they're just relying on the ultimate play, which is something that we've seen BSU do and get value out of before.
Both Sovas just scanning each other with the drones of just, hey, you're here, hey, I'm here, and just can't do anything about it because they're manning the drone. So, ton of useful information that was utilized there for both teams. But now, once again, rotating over to A as most members of Minnesota rotate over to C. This is where Boise State gets aggressive because there's nobody defending it. Just run.
And Panda's definitely trying to get some eliminations here as they've got the Jet ultimate out here.
Yeah, they're going to go rushing in to find literally nobody except for one person up in the high ground, which will be Alpha. If they threw some knives there, they would have a chance, but it's no longer up there. So now Boise State's going to have to cover their flank as 2 members come in. Jet has the ult. Got some damage, or didn't even hit him. Wow.
How? Wow, that
I expected
seemed
that
like
to be a headshot.
Absolutely, me too, as Panda, Abstract, and Wicked are going to go down in quick succession, leaving us with 4-2 here, as Poppy is also going to go down here to Dreammaker, and this looks like it might be a Boise State round after all, flubbed ultimate or not.
Yeah, so Boise State is on match point.
Just one more.
We won't have
Just
to go
one
into
more, Boise
overtime.
State, and they'll pull out the reverse sweep against this team they are incredibly evenly matched against. Economy's looking relatively even, except this time it's Rad Chad that's just stuck with a pistol.
Yeah, so now Rad Chad just have the Sheriff, so they can get the one-shot headshots. As J-Bag sets up those preliminary smoke grenades with their ability, and Boise State has the ult advantage. Minnesota still has the Reyna ult. Maybe we'll see it finally used. We'll have to wait and see, but we got the Cypher and the Astral for Boise State. Can definitely use them and be the game changers leading to the win. And with an early pick like that
what you want to see.
Smoke, Poppy's got to feel real bad.
That's what we're looking for. Boise State 5 to Minnesota's 4 at match point. 12-10 here with the advantage of Boise State. And 2 ultimates on the board still.
Yeah, and this could be the moment where we see Boise State once again initially show C and just hard rotate over to A, but they're going to be pushing right into Wicked with this Killjoy holding the angle with the Sheriff. Could end horribly, but since they got that, or no, they have a Vandal this time around, so they were able to pick up a gun.
And Wicked is just going to stand there and wait for somebody to cross their sight lines and hope that they're able to eliminate them. That's Wicked Impro's plan right now.
Yeah, Boise State running out of time is going to finally end up going for the C push, but Cypher will get alerted from the trip mine. Set off by the Killjoy. He knows there's at least one coming from behind, but Boise State gets the plant as well, thanks to the Astral. And Wicked wins the battle against Shell, so now the backline is compromised.
Things are not looking good over here, especially as Dreammaker is now taking out. We're in 3v3 territory here. We got to use some ultimates and hope that they work out to our advantage here.
So Jabald immediately uses their ult as Alpha takes down Panda.
Brad Chad's going to go down, even things up.
Obscuring vision.
Fuse goes down. Just fire some shots, please.
Get up! Oh, Alpha T goes down, and so does Abstract, and that's 13-10 for the Boise State reverse sweep in Valorant tonight.
Big GGs all around, but Boise State pulls it out at the end. Finally, didn't go into overtime, but a hard fought victory coming out from Boise State against Minnesota. And if you're Minnesota, you have to feel so good about that matchup.
Honestly, I think everybody's got to feel good about that matchup because it was long and it was hard fought. And I mean, Boise State won, so they probably feel a little bit better. But Minnesota definitely did not just hand it over. They sat and made them work for it. And it was incredibly impressive to watch just from both sides.
Yeah, for sure. And then have to beg the question of who's player of the game between all that? Because every single person on both teams had their moments to shine. And so it's next to impossible to just be like, this person did everything. It's like, well, no, because then this person, it's just back and forth. Especially with how long each map went to maximum capacity at that point. It's hard to pick. Like, even if I did one from each team, like, I don't want to say go-to because everyone had their moment in the sum. And Dreammaker did very well with Neon in the beginning and then went over to the Sova and got the double with the ult and at the very end. And it seems it will be Shells as well, very surprisingly, as I believe they popped off multiple times, doing very well at the end, but very impressive.
Absolutely amazing as we watch this replay reel of Shells doing several clutch moments and getting the cheeky flanks and shooting through the smoke and doing all these just impressive Valorant strategies here. And the J-Bag elimination in the background here. Shells was definitely one of those players that you could rely on to clutch something if they needed to. If you were down one, you still knew that Shells could count for at least 2 players, maybe 3, depending on the situation.
Yeah, they were playing the Sage in the beginning, getting the res, being that support player, and in the next 2 games, they were just getting the scouting utility and getting a lot of the eliminations that they probably shouldn't have half the time, but I guess that just speaks to the skill of the player and why they deserve the ICCU.
The Shells clutch. And the ICCU player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Shells is an amazing Idaho Credit Central Union player of the game. And honestly, watching them clutch was one of the most impressive things that we've seen tonight. There were several clutches where it was like 3 people versus Shells, and you're like, I don't know, this doesn't look too good. And then Shells wins them. And they did this at least twice. So really, Boise State was functioning with at least a 6-man team because Shells counts for more than 1.
Yeah, and it was very well deserved, but I think we still have to highlight on the side of Minnesota, Poppy with the operator was doing fantastically for most of that. We were constantly highlighting them, so I definitely think they deserve player of the game for their side of the team, so good on you, Poppy.
Poppy was definitely a menace with those cross-map snipes there.
And also Wicked on the Viper, we saw the recap of it. They were a huge threat for the longest time, so every member on their team. Alpha T did very well getting multiple doubles and triples, evening things out. So very good on Minnesota. It was a hard-fought game.
And we can definitely see that from these top 5 plays coming from tonight.
Hopefully the remaining member of Boise State can pull it out. They should be able to. They even get the spike planted down for Panda, but Poppy has been notoriously very well, and I would assume they have a Marshal as well. Well, because they definitely did not have enough for an operator. Even running straight into their sidelines, not able to get the shot. So the res here to have that just extra member against poor old Poppy on this Jet. He doesn't even have their ult or anything. Will it get flashed for that split second? Make that a second time. So they know they're there, just stuck in that back hallway. Don't want to get aggressive here. Shells is going to do exactly that and win the gunfight.
And only need to win 1 more to tie. If they lose it, Minnesota goes up another one, and we're put back to Boise State being behind 3.
Yeah, we see Radchad trying to take that sideline against Shells. So, Shells looks like they're going to have to be the only one defending him, and they will be able to take down Radchad with, or Panda will, with a shot through the wall. Was quite amazing to see, but Radchad taking a lot of these sidelines, very dangerous game to play. Once again, the same play coming out here from Boise State. Wall up against A and push right into it, but now Abstract here holding the angle.
Ooh!
Able to take down 1, but Shells every time just is able to
9-9 in Boise State's favor after they have come back from being down 3-4 at some points. They've definitely made a comeback here, so it would definitely be great if they could win this round. If Minnesota wins it, Radchad getting being first blood at the hands of Dreammaker, things are looking pretty good for Boise State.